Women Power Summit 2021. I request our Principal Advisor, Kanika Sajal Anand, to initiate the summit with her welcome note.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Kanika Anand, National Advisor of YUCI. United Youth will unite nations. The power of youth is the commonwealth for the entire world. The faces of young people are the faces of our past, our present, and our future. No segment in the society can match with the power, idealism, enthusiasm, and the courage of the youth. The future belongs to those who see opportunities today. YUCI is a youth-run organization with a central youth team of passionate and enthusiastic young individuals driven to bring changes by providing development programs and opportunities. YUCI is dedicated to strengthening the youth community and helping them achieve success in sustainable development. YUCI is not restricted to organizing lectures and seminars or activism through social media. We want to entitle youth through effective action and aid them to become the backbone to a better society. And today, YUCI takes this initiative to welcome you all for the International Women Empowerment Summit 2021. YUCI always believed that empowering women not only helped in the growth of the country, but also revolutionized the way the society thinks about women. Therefore, this Women Empowerment Summit will act as a bridge to connect the enthusiastic mind of the energized youth as well as the young women. Women just need to listen to her hearts, and if she does so, nothing can stop her to achieve dauntless heights. The women are that integral part of the society which can't be inseparable from the nation. So here is the opportunity for us to learn, to grow, and to perform the work to the best of our abilities with these marvelous and terrific speakers who have gathered today. As it is rightly said by Albert Einstein, the women who follow the crowd will usually no go further than the crowd. But the women who walk alone is likely to find herself where no one has ever been before. With this quote, we welcome each and every speaker of International Women Empowerment Summit 2021. Yes, you are truly the gem which will empower the youth. I welcome Dr. P.K. Rashford, keynote speaker, who is a medical officer in Uttar Pradesh. He is the Senior Vice President of Kejila Healthcare. He is also a National Advisor of our Council. We are glad to have you, sir. Over to you, sir. Dr. P.K. Rajput is there. Is Dr. P.K. Rajput there?
Yeah, I'm very much here.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Rania ma'am, Vishaka ma'am. Right, very happy. Yeah, very, very happy. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah.
No.
And Dr. Sunita has also joined. I can see Bhavisha madam has also joined here. And very nice to see all good people, all eminent speakers. Sunita ma'am, very, very good afternoon to you. So Kanika, at what time you're planning to start now?
Sir, it's all up to you now. I've already introduced you, sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is my mistake. I thought that. Okay.
Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Kanika and all, thank you so much and very, very good afternoon, good morning and good evening to all the eminent guests who had come here and on the platform of YUCI, which is the Youth United Council of India. Right. This is a thing which has been planned by Mr. Vimal and all the beautiful young team members of YUCI, which all are associated with this. We are going to talk on one of the very important part because this summit is for the 2 days. Yesterday, we had a very beautiful, great, eminent speakers, chief guest of honor. And today, again, we are going to have a lot of the important people who have devoted their time, their life, their entire details for the building the women empowerment. I feel personally blessed as a part of YUCI, as a national advisor, that I am here, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation to be a part of it. Now, I'm coming to the SDG goals, which has been finalized by the UK. There are 17 goals are there, but when we see about the goal number 5, that is to ensure the gender equality and empower all girls and women. So to eliminate all forms of the discrimination and violence against women in the public and private sphere. This is a goal is there. But when we start talking about the goal, that how much we are working, what we have done, because there are 5 important things are there. One is, are we really helping to make our young mind, young girls and the women socially strong? Are we really helping them for educating them? Because still there is a discrimination is there, not only in India, but in the various part of the world. Third is, economically, are we really helping them to become economically strong? Why I say so? That suppose there is a entrepreneur is there, lady entrepreneur versus the male entrepreneur. And suppose there is an IPO is going to happen, you will find that just 10% of the IPO will be coming towards the female side and 90% it will go towards the male driven side. So that discrimination is there, which is very important that we should be taking care. Coming to the political part, again, when we see, we have a very beautiful minds, good minds who can lead our India very well, right? But at the same time, in the entire world, that discrimination should not be there. Last point is psychological, because whatever said and done today, that lady of the house or the person who is working as the entire, who's taking care for the home, for the office, for the children and all, but we are not able to help us. We are not able to build the things which is important. So building, when I talk about the building part, are we really strengthening her? Why we are depriving her? Because when I meet many females, right, and we see that why this discrimination is there, and that is the reason this Women Empowerment Summit has been organized, because this summit only is not going to make a difference, but every time, everywhere, every sphere, whenever we are working together jointly, we have to spread this thing. We have to empower our women, because women have such a wonderful power. She can change the thing. She has a very good thinking power. She has a very good administrative power. She has, and lot many educators you can find, they are all being women driven. So you find wherever the women are there, they are driving it so well. So this summit is going to add little flavor in this, so that I am sure with the eminent guest of honor, chief guest and the eminent speaker who have devoted 10 years, 20 years of their valuable time, they are going to really highlight about it. And this notion is going to go abroad, across in the entire universe, so that people should learn, people should start respecting, people should start adoring the females. Because if you adore the female, it is, you are adoring the entire family. You are adoring the entire family means you are adoring
Council of India, YUCI. They've been doing a wonderful job in this space of organizing programs in this pandemic time through the various webinars, and they've been touching upon a lot of important issues. And today, this has been this 2-day program is, I would say, an evergreen topic. Yes, I remember 20 years back, I was talking on a similar seminar talking about women empowerment. And 20 years down the line, I'm here again talking about women empowerment, and just looking back, wondering what is the real empowerment that has happened. I wouldn't say that we haven't come a long way. We have come a very long way, but there is still a very, very long way to go. And if one has to look at the difference of what it was, like if you were to look at our generation or our parents' generation, yes, there was always the societal pressure that was, weighing us down. But today, I would say the next generation are a much, much lot better. Definitely, I think probably if another 10 years down the line, if I were to talk on another women empowerment program, my thoughts or my talk should definitely be more different. As the speaker before me was advisor to YUCI was talking, women definitely are play a very major role taking care of the family, taking care of the workplace, etc. But today, if you look at the next generation, the ones who are graduating from our institutions, they are very street smart, if I may use the word. They are very smart. They know how to balance. They know how to take forward their education, how they need to balance their social activities. And I think the pandemic also has to a large extent changed the dynamics at home, because there has been a lot of work from home going on across the world, and men have learned what it is that is happening behind the screens, if I may say, at home, at the kitchen. So men have learned how it is to share the work, if not in all houses, at least some houses. It is a beginning. It is a first small step, if I must say. And moving on, one important thing when I speak about women empowerment, which I have always felt very deeply, has to come from within. We can talk about what is happening around us, but we have, as individual women, have to have it in them to have that courage, to have that assertiveness. And how does this come? This just doesn't drop from heaven. But generally we say individual's attitude, which is the most key factor for anyone in their lives. Through my experience, I have felt attitude is one important key factor which plays a major role in everyone's life. If your attitude is in the right track, many things will fall in place. And this attitude, as we all must have heard, is largely shaped by three major things. 3 E's, if I may say, 3 E's. Your environment, your education, and your experience. Your environment is largely what happens as you grow as a child, your family, those around you, etc. How they influence you. Your attitude shapes to a large extent due to the environment. And I think that plays a major role when typically women are said to be the weaker type and to be taken care of and things like that. That is also slowly changing. Next comes your education. And today, yes, all are given an opportunity to study. Awareness must be created. Awareness must be created of how important education is to go up to a still higher level. I wouldn't speak from a very, narrow point of view. Broadly, also, we realize that people have realized the importance of education, ensuring, if we have to go down to the lower strata of society, the economically weaker section, they realize the importance of education. How far they are able to educate their girl child is what matters most. And again, I think as people who are the YUCI team here has a major responsibility in creating that awareness, I think. So second is experience, education, which plays a major role in shaping individuals' attitude. And lastly, experience. So when I say experience, how your experience shapes you. A bad experience might put someone, make them take a step back. a bad experience might sometimes make people say, come on, why should I not try it out? So this experience is what many a time takes people forward. When these three things work in a very positive manner and your attitude is in the right track, I'm sure women, irrespective of wherever we are from, will be empowered. And I always felt, yes, the society has to give us opportunity, the workplace, people have to give us opportunity. And as someone who's been working for the last 20 plus years, let me tell you, it depends a lot on the individual as to how you assert yourself in your workplace. It depends a lot on individuals' attitude, the way we approach things, that matters a lot. And lastly, I'd like to conclude my talk by saying that the YUCI team is doing a great job. I request you all to do a lot more, probably in the future, to reach out to more youngsters and ensure, they always say, right? You educate a boy, you educate an individual, you educate a woman, you educate a family. Yes, that is the power of women. Okay, so if women are educated, if women are empowered, they'll be able to do a lot of good. Not that men cannot do. And I, for one, strongly believe there is, I don't want to go into the depth of it, but there's nothing to do with men and women. It is about individuals. Yes, women have to be empowered. We have all that history, the statistics, etc. But it is individual. Ultimately, boils down to individuals' inner field where she has to come out. So my request to everyone out there who's listening, and I'm sure people have seen, because as I said, being in a university and in a teaching field for the last 20 years, I have seen how girls do express themselves very strongly. So I think there has to be more of opportunity given to them. And one last word before I sign off. The one important thing that will empower women is courage. As I said, attitude is very, very important. And alongside with attitude, it is courage, your mental strength. Stand up for what you think is right. Speak up for yourself. Assert yourself. Assertiveness is more important. Neither be passive nor be aggressive. Be assertive to the right level. Thank you all so much. Wish this program a great success. Thank you once again. Thanks, Kanika.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your words of wisdom. And surely we need to have a positive attitude and a lot of courage. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I welcome our another chief guest, Rania Lempow. She is a global educator, a STEM instructor, and an ICT teacher trainer in Greece. She has a postgraduate degree in language teaching related to cognitive neurosciences, and she is also a passionate researcher on cognitive neurosciences and neuroeducation. Currently, she is a STEM instructor at the Greek Astronomy and Space Company, and she is also working at the Greek Ministry of Education at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, where she writes STEAM projects for Greek schools. She has been awarded many national and international prizes, so far 100. Furthermore, she is a social activist, a global peace ambassador, senior advisor of United Nations Peacekeepers Federal Council, and ambassador of the Ecumenical Delphic Union. She is also a member of the Educational Committee of the Ecumenical Delphic Union in collaboration with Harvard University. She has received many humanitarian and peace awards from international humanitarian organizations. She is a Global Council member of Chartered Institute of Leadership, Education and Development. She is also an international executive member of Global Edu Leaders Forum, honorary ambassador of Charles Walters Society of Innovation and Research, education ambassador and member of the International Organization of Educators and Researchers, ambassador of National Education Policy 2020 of India, NEP. Moreover, she is an executive director of education of Forum Plus 36 Peace and Unity, and international ambassador of volunteerism and education of the Greek Academy of Volunteerism and Education Help Hellas. She is an editorial board member of many journals. She has presented her research in numerous international conferences and e-conferences, and she has published work in various journals. We are very happy to have you, ma'am. Over to you.
Greetings from Greece to all of you. I'm extremely honored to participate in this so meaningful, resourceful, and enriching conference about women. It's my favorite topic, women empowerment. And today we're going to shed light on some issues related to gender equality, which is the growth engine for the global economy. So congratulate the United Council of India, and may I share my presentations because I have a lot to say. Is it visible now? Okay. So we live in a world of growing inequality with worsening predictions on how long it is going to take to close the gender gap. And this is despite the fact that 185 countries have gender equality embedded in their constitutions. It's important to achieve gender equality, guaranteeing the full implementation of existing human rights agreements, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the Beijing Platform for Action, the Cairo Program of Action, the Millennium Declaration, the outcome of the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, and all the agreed conclusions of the Commission on the Status of Women. And all of these agreements show that state and non-state actors, including all these institutions, must respect the fundamental human rights principles of universality, indivisibility, interdependence, accountability, equality, and non-discrimination. So women so far make up 23% of the world parliamentarians, 7% of heads of state, 6% of heads of government, and they only hold 12% of board position businesses across the world, and 9% of chief executive office positions. And what is empowerment? That's why we talk about empowerment. It's actually a multidimensional process encompassing changes in the political, social, economic spheres of life. And all these different dimensions of empowerment are closely interrelated, so that significant changes in one dimension is likely to generate changes in others. Women's economic empowerment relates to the enhancement of women's capacity for strategic choice and agency in the sphere of the economy, and to the possibilities this opens up for change in other spheres of their lives. So it offers policymakers one of a number of possible entry points into broader processes of empowerment. And here we can see how gender inequalities in the division of labor and paid work, women's primary responsibility for unpaid care work within the home, associated inequalities in access to valuable resources, women dependent on male provision for themselves and their children, and what we said before, they lack strategic agency. Women human rights emerged as a global movement during the United Nations Decade for Women, when women from many different geographical, cultural, religious, racial backgrounds came together and organized to improve the status of women. And the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, it's a key international agreement on women's rights. It's considered as the National Bill of Rights for Women. USA First Lady Hillary Clinton declared at the Beijing Conference that human rights are women's rights, adding that women must enjoy the right to participate fully in the social and political lives of the countries if we want freedom and democracy to thrive and endure. So here we can see what is happening in the world of work. Gender differences in laws affect both developing and developed economies and women in all regions. Women remain less likely to participate in the labor market than men around the world. Women are more likely to be unemployed than men, and they're overrepresented in informal and vulnerable employment. Globally, women are paid less than men. They bear disproportionate responsibility for unpaid care and domestic work. And unpaid care work is essential to the function of the economy, but often goes uncounted and unrecognized. Women are still less likely to have access to social protection. Women also are less likely to have access to financial institutions or bank account. And we're talking about also digital divide. Women are less likely to be entrepreneurs and face more disadvantages starting business. And of course, they are constrained from achieving the highest leadership positions. And we all know, we're going to see about this, gender-based violence and harassment in the work of worker. So we're talking about many constraints. The nature of this inequalities varies in different countries. There are specific contexts, cultural restrictions of women's movement, and different wider societal ideologies. And here we can see that according to the Development Progress Research Report, there are 10 factors, direct and underlying factors, that enable and constrain women's economic empowerment. First of all, here you can see direct factors: education, access to quality, decent paid work, access to property, assets and financial services, collective action, social protection. And underlying factors: labor market characteristics, fiscal policy, legal, regulatory policy framework, gender norms. And very important is what happens in rural areas. We have inequalities in access to land and property. In rural areas, women's disadvantaged status with both statutory and customary land has constituted a major barrier. So weak rights to land also translate into weak rights in relation to other natural resources. Gender-based violence, there are many committees that try to take a number of steps in order to criminalize all forms of gender-based violence, especially in the world of work. Here we can mention the example of India. The Post-Act 2013 Post-Act mandates employers to take steps to protect the female employees from sexual harassment in the workplace and to provide procedures for resolution and prosecution. So we have seen many steps. And what about gender parity education? Access to quality education is important. So far, we can see many progress. Many countries have achieved a gender parity, but also we have seen the example of many other countries who still face problems such as dropout from school and early marriages. So in India, we have Mobile Crisis. It's a voluntary organization that tries to help poor and less skilled women in Indian city that has around 400 centers and reaches out to many children across the cities of India. And we have also micro programs. Microcredit programs have expanded considerably since the 80s because of the compatibility with the new liberal emphasis on integrated poor people into markets. So there are over 7,000 microfinance institutions in the world. We have the case of women migrant workers. Women constitute approximately half of 250 million migrants. And here we can see how what challenges women face. Because research shows that women migrant workers are often more likely than men to remit on a regular basis, owing to women's stronger links to family members and self-insurance motives. And although many migrant women are highly skilled and well-educated, they face challenges in accessing foreign labor markets. Women migrant workers are often concentrated in informal, low-paid and regulated work. We have also the case of women with disabilities, another group which needs social protection. And except from the economic and social challenges, this group has to face difficult health problems that need to be addressed with health care. We have the example of UNICEF. UNICEF has successfully utilized technology to spread information and empower young persons using U-Report in Uganda. U-Report is a free SMS social monitor tool designed to engage users in issues they care about. And we have also a daily noise images, same picture guide. It's a good example that can increase gender-based health service accessibility for this group of women. What are the general recommendations here? Of course, we need to accelerate all these, implementation of Sustainable Development Goals and scale up financial resourcing across relevant sectors. That will be essential. It's not just about increasing resources. Funding must be delivered in ways which support us for making change. Identifying progress which involve measuring complex outcomes, requiring careful study of how women's lives are changing. And of course, we need education for ground women and their views, which is very crucial. Enact the policies to overcome women's unequal access to economic opportunities, promote equal pay for equal work, shift the tax structures, provide incentives for employers, prohibit sexual harassment in workplace, value redistributing unpaid work, ensure full employment, decent work, and living wage for all, and of course, enforce labor rights. Ensure the full and equal participation of women in all public and private decision making, including economical, legal, social, and political life of the communities. And his information is very important. There are many women around the world that they don't know that their organizations, such as the International Labour Organization, which has ensured many recommendations and measures for women. It's also important to promote the process, promote citizen oversight processes that monitor the implementation of policies and programs, strengthen the participation of women in leadership positions, decision making, and in general promote the recognition of work in care work and strategies of collaborative work between community-based organizations. Design campaigns and education materials that promote education against reflection on gender stereotypes and all this chauvinist communication. During the COVID pandemic, we have seen how 1 in 4 women, for instance, in America, were forced to downshift their careers or leave the workforce completely. Black women also face many challenges during the COVID pandemic, less likely to have opportunities than other women. And here we can see the statistics. And what are the main recommendations for companies during the COVID pandemic? Make work more sustainable. Companies must adjust their goals to the new normal. They can find creative ways to give employees extra time off, for instance. And reset the norms around flexibility. Companies should set new work norms to encourage employees to set their own boundaries, take full advantage of flexible work options, because remote work will open up opportunities for existing employees, particularly mothers, caregivers. Take a close look at performance reviews. Managers can relieve employees' stress and refocus on key priorities by reassessing performance criteria set before the pandemic to make sure that these criteria are still attainable. Take steps to minimize gender bias and try to mitigate this bias that companies need to make sure that employees are aware of them. So leaders and employees should speak publicly about the impact of COVID on them. Adjust policies and programs to better support employees. Many companies have extended policies and programs to support employees, and from offering more paid time off to providing resources for homeschooling and strengthen employee communication. A very interesting topic that you need to research is how climate change, how women are very hit from climate change in comparison to men. Why? Because they face a heavier burden of domestic work as a result of resource shortages. Because women, they are made to walk longer distances to fetch these resources, and they have increased workload. What I'm trying to do is I'm working a lot on women empowerment rights. So my latest program is called Gender-Based Violence, Why This is a Much Better Option. It's a program which is inspired by high rates of gender-based violence in Nigeria. And it's the original because it combines STEM education with gender-based values awareness. It's based on 5 Sustainable Development Goals, and it has started to be implemented in Nigeria with a great success. Also, another course on 5 natural scientists. So we have created with my students many radio shows about women scientists, which shows that are in the European, they were aired in the European radio, and also educational video. You can find it on YouTube, which was awarded in the competition, European competition, University in STEM. It was aired on the national air television on the International Women's Day. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, I am at your disposal. I tried to shorten my presentation because it was for 1 hour and a half. There are many.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your recommendations. And thank you for the words of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now I welcome our guest of honor. Women always say we can do anything that men can do. YUCI Lee, International Advisor of YUCI, is a great example of that. Professional cross-cultural communicator and communication designer, started career as development and planning team of Segyo Group, shopping department, hotel, theater, etc. in Seoul, and scripter for Korean broadcast. In Korea for foreign residents, Yogin City by Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, June 2006 to December 2009. In India from 2010 till present. Hindustan University, Chennai, India. Advisor International Affairs 2015 till present. Teaching Korean language and intercultural education. Awards, the grand winner, the highest award in the first competition for lifelong education, Gyeonggi-do, the governor of Gyeonggi-do province citation, was given a citation for excellent service to Gyeonggi-do, December 2007. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's event, the International Women Empowerment Summit 2021. I am YUCI Lee, the International Advisory of Youth United Council India. I think Youth United Council India, all members are really passionate and enthusiastic young individuals. They are dedicated to strengthening the youth community and helping them achieve success in sustainable development. At the very beginning, Dr. Rashford, he said, "We agree with that. I respect you. Thank you." And then Dr. Lee, she also said, next generation will be better and better than us. Yes, I'm sure that. And then she suggests for the 3E and just environment and education and this, what is that, experience. This is really great 3 points. Yes. As I am studying actually sociology in the college, and then I studied the women's study in the PG. So discussions about the women's empowerment has been at the forefront in all the spheres for the last few decades, actually, not just just recently. And this has been a concern because it has been ages dominated society, patriarchal society. Yes, because we are living with the family and the father, and thus we did not much realize at home. But you look at this society, right? So, but the struggles and the problems are being vocalized now. These points are further highlighted when women in a relatively better position than others are also echoing the same. The struggles women face right from being a child is unimaginable. Little girls are denied education while their brothers don't encounter such a denial. The reason for this seems futile, as the families presume the role of women is in the kitchen, and she should only take care of household work. Yes, I think this day, not everybody, many our parents also, the mind was changed, but yeah, I'm saying in the generally. And the lack of education is a huge hindrance that is curbing the growth of women in society. It was said by Sean Illing in his article about a book written by Auguste Lopez, Equality for Women equals prosperity for all. That's sure. I agree. Tori, I agree with that. This is really great point. This is a really good point. And then he said in this book, it just shows how gender inequality in education and the income and the law and employment and wages lead to instability and the chaos at almost every level of society. In towns and then urban area, yeah, girls get an education and secure a good position, but even then they are treated unequally or inferior to male counterparts. Women are paid for less than they deserve in company to their male colleagues for the same work, just because of their gender. To actually empower women, this discrimination should be put an end. And gender roles as to what job should be done by whom should be an individual's choice, not the society. The pressure and limitation put by society on women are appalling, to say at least. So let's break free from these defined and limiting gender roles and start to live equal lives at home first, so that next generation knows everyone is equal. It is tiring hearing that equality is still a dream. No, it is upon us to make it reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sukhili. I love the way you spoke about the number of schemes, policies, and acts that have been made for them to be knowing their rights and privileges and learning to fight for it. I mean, women's quest for equality with men has become such a universal phenomenon, and it's a topic that should really be discussed about. So thank you so much for being with us, Mrs. Sukhili. We're really glad to have you here. Thank you. Well, a very good afternoon, everyone. This is Priyanka Mishra, a member of YUCI. And now moving to our next speaker. A woman should be two things: who and what she wants to be. Our next speaker is an educator with 23 plus years of experience in teaching, skill development, and school administration with numerous reputed schools across the country. Currently working as the principal at Biakan High School and Junior College, Pune. She's also a certified CBSE resource person for capacity building programs in assessment of speaking and listening skills, classroom management, remodeled structures of assessments, career guidance, upholding ethics and integrity in schools, leading transformations, and happy classrooms. She has received Excellence Award for being the emerging principal in the Global Education and Skills Summit. certificates of appreciation from the HRD Minister for 2 consecutive years, a recipient of the prestigious Nachiketa Award for innovative methods in teaching of English, and appreciation certificates at CBSE Life Skills Summits at the regional as well as at the international levels. She's also an executive board member in the Global Training Academy and an honorary member of Gupta. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. My humble pranams to the galaxy of speakers.
Please step back. Here goes. Ready? Did you learn how to ride a bicycle before the age of 10? Did you learn music in school? Did you take any lessons in sports? And no, video games are not a sport, even if it has the word game in it. Did you learn how to iron your clothes while still in school? Take a step forward. If not, take a step back. If you can make tea or breakfast, not just for yourselves, please step forward. If not, take a step back.
In the beginning, I think the questions were more general. People were still going forward and backward. Questions like, it was funny to see the cooking question. There were a lot of men who went ahead and there were women who were going behind.
Do you usually make all the household bill payments yourself? Do you know the circle rate in your area? Do you know the price of gold today? Do you know the exact breakup of your salary?
As the questions unfolded, the stark difference came out visibly.
Do you know the details of the financial documents you're asked to sign? Have you bought a vehicle in your own name without consulting anybody? Have you bought insurance policies unassisted? Do you watch or follow the budget?
Like you think you're doing okay, but then you're like, okay, these are kind of important things that I don't look at.
Do you manage your own finances and earnings unassisted? Do you know how to invest in mutual funds? Do you know the difference between a mutual fund and an SIP? Do you make the investments for your family members or your spouse? Do you file your own income tax return? Now, everyone who's in front, could you please turn around and look behind you? Initially, when you guys started moving, there wasn't such a big gap. My question is, when did this gap start to occur?
The minute the questions became about managing money, the gap between men and women became very clear and evident.
Women handling certain responsibilities regarding their own life, which were always passed on to someone else in the family or the men.
There was a slight unfairness I realized at that time. But at that point, it seemed normal.
I was upset. I wanted to be at the front of the line. It's like, why don't I know this? Why am I not confident enough to say, yes, I am able to understand this? It was quite an eye-opener for me because I always depended on the men of the family to take care of my investments and, plan my future.
I felt that obviously men are more into it than women. So eventually I did expect the gap to be there.
Over the years growing up, there were certain very traditionally masculine tropes that were assigned for him and certain traditionally feminine tropes that were assigned for me.
For women, it's practically debarred to learn to know and to focus on money.
I wish I had known from the beginning of my childhood and kind of thought about that I would be doing so much better.
Just actionable measures is what we want really.
So that is where I wanted to take all of you. And with this, I would like to say, empowerment isn't about making women stronger. It is about changing the way the world, and more importantly, the women themselves perceive their strength. So women have to learn to perceive their strength along with the world and say, yes, I can do it. I can learn it. I can go ahead with it. Because women need to stand up for themselves. It is an individualistic approach. And the process of empowerment, I feel, is very, very simple. It is accepting their viewpoint. It is raising their status through education, awareness, literacy, and training. Now, what we saw here in this video was that these women were all educated. They belonged to the current century, to the current decade. But still, there were certain aspects that they never did or they were never asked to do. So empowerment means promoting self-worth, and women need to learn this. They need to have self-worth for themselves, determine their own choices, and need to understand that they have the right to influence the social changes. Also, we need to understand that Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga are definitely given their praise in religion, but women don't want that high pedestal. They need the equality. Don't raise us, but bring us equal. And for that, not only men, but women have to understand their worth. And this can happen only by standing up for ourselves, sharing opportunities, encouraging them, and building the network. As Malala very rightly says, I raise up my voice, not so that I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. And we can see the same thing happening in Afghanistan at this given point of time when the rights of women are being forfeited. So first, it is a call out, a shout out to women, understand your power, rise up, and to the men, it's a 50-50 world. Give them the right, give them the hand, and they will prove themselves. Thank you.
A mother. A mother, wife, daughter, friend, and a businesswoman. Levglad.tk. New beginnings. She helps people to secure a happier future by helping them find solutions. She's a coach and a mentor. Cognitive therapy, she teaches self-esteem and self-confidence. She knows 5 languages, and she's a money mindset coach and a global leadership mentor. She works with vulnerable young people with diagnosis. She has her coaching businesses. Next to that, she's a professional networker where she teaches and mentors people in how they can secure their financial future by using the most powerful business techniques and models available. Her purpose in life is to help people get better, get healthy, wealthy, and have a better mental health. For as long as she can remember, she has always wanted to make people happy. She loves to inspire people. Michelle Quick from Denmark, the stage is yours.
And thank you for that introduction. I am a woman, and I'm a woman at heart, and I'm a strong woman, but being a strong woman, like being a strong man, doesn't mean that you don't get touched. And thank you for that introduction. It touched me deeply, even though I know the words. Hearing someone else say them is pretty powerful and makes me proud of where I am today. So thank you. I'm just going to set my timer too, because when I get inspired, I tend to go over time, and I would not want to do that for this precious event. And thank you for having me. It is an honor. When I was asked to do this speech about women empowerment, this is not a speech that I thought would be difficult, because I'm a woman. So, and I am 43, and I think that we all have lived life in some kind of way and have had our experiences with diversity, or people going against the way that we see the world or our beliefs in some kind of way. But how do we see empowerment? Empowerment. I want to go into the power. What is power? What is coming into your power? And do you want power, or do you want power? I want to go a little bit back in history to the place where I was a little child. I was alone with my mother. She got sick when I was 5. So that wasn't power, wasn't it? Getting sick, being a child. Do you have power when you are a child and when you are sick? But my mom and I, we had power. We were together. We survived every day with our love to each other. Was it easy? No. Oh, the stories that I have. She was my mom. And not only am I blessed that I look like her, I also had her temper, still have. So my mom and I had a wonderful life. Despite that she was sick and I was a child, we had a powerful love to each other. So empowering women, which power is it that we want? Which power is it that we're searching for? There's a lot of people that have power today. We need to choose the power that we want. I'm saying we. This is not only women. This is all of us, humanity. It's a decision of humanity that we need to choose which power to use at which point. When I'm opening a can of tomatoes, I need power to open it. I need to be strong, of course, and I can do that. I can put up a lamp and I can fix everything, but do I do it? I make my husband do that. And why? Because of the roles that we play in our life. I can do anything that I want in my life because I'm a woman and despite of being a woman. Can I do it right away? Maybe not. Can I do it in all cultures? Definitely not. but it's still my decision, still my choice. There are 3 things in life. There are a lot more, but there are 3 things in life, 3 things that is important and that I've come to learn in my life. I've struggled with anxiety so bad, so I was cramping up in my whole body. I was sitting writing exams with my muscles cramping. I've had depression, so I couldn't get off the sofa. But I had a family that helped me. I've had stress where I shut down in my left side and couldn't stand on my leg. I've been homeless. I've been in an abusive relationship. But that doesn't make me less powerful. If I had given in to all those things and given my power to all of those situations, I would have given them my power. It would have been my decision. I made a decision that I am powerful. And one of the things that made a big change in my life was a person asking me, who are you? Who am I? Who are we when we think about it? It's not, are we a clerk or are we a president of a, I was going to say United States, but not yet. But are we, who are we? Who are we in here? Who are we destined to be and who were we born to be? My answer, I have come to the last couple of years, is I am born of the divine. I am a child of the divine source that gives me energy and heightens my vibration so that I can serve on this earth. I am here to learn. We are here to learn together. This is powerful. It's not only one person that can do it all. It is all of us that can do it together. It is humanity's responsibility. The second thing, I already said it a bit, is serving. Find what you're good at. Are you good at serving others to make food or to put something up or to do and serve humanity in that way? Find the thing that can help other people and you will see your life opening up. And be happy while doing it. Find your happy place. The third thing is always do the right thing. When I heard this, I got very happy and I got very inspired because my mom always said that you have to do the right thing even though no one's watching. Are we still doing the right thing, even though it's not on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or anything else? Oh, I made this, I did this. Yes, we are, because the divine sees it, the energy sees it, and we know it, don't we? My 10 minutes are almost up. I hope that you feel as proud as I to be a woman. And remember, it starts and ends with you, always. You cannot do anything about the situations that happens, but you can do everything about how you react to the situation. It's your responsibility and your choice which power you choose. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a very great enlightened speech which you gave us. Surely it will help us in many ways. Now time to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Sunita Pakar, MBA and PhD in CSR. She is the founder member and the CEO of BBFT and chairperson of FAMA Academy. She is SDG brand ambassador in SDG Chapter. She got a worldwide top award by her name for contributing a successful campaign at international level. She is honorary advisory board member, Positive Thoughts and ABCD International, an educational ambassador of International Institute of Influencers. She successfully organized a global COVID warrior leadership and excellence award of 2020-21. She is having many accolades by her name like Global International Excellence Women, Icon of India, International Lady, Legend Award, and Global Achievers Award for the excellent contribution in academics, CSR, and SDG. In recognition of her ongoing commitment to excellence in academics and social welfare, she also awarded the degree by the prestigious international and national organization. She has published more than 20 research papers in international or national journals and presented more than 25 research papers in international conferences on emotional intelligence, visionary leadership, women empowerment, SDG, HR analytics, and marketing analytics, etc. We take immense pleasure in welcoming you, ma'am. It is over to you.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. And I would like to congratulate and my best wishes to YUCI team members for organizing such a wonderful, relevant topic. And everybody need to discuss this issue. As I just prefer, and it's my opinion that women are already empowered. If women is the symbol of Shakti, love, respect, dignity, affection, everything is, we can connect with the women. So we can say if a woman is the proud of her father, woman is better half of her husband. If she is the best well-wisher of her children, so how we can demand that women need any power or any empowerment? She is already having everything with her. The main issue here we need to address and we need to discuss about is the gap areas where that women is not having the facilities or equal opportunities. That issues we need to raise. See, in urban areas, women, those who are educated, they are self-reliant, they are doing excellent job. Here we need to raise the issues about the rural area women. Those who are not educated, those who still depends on their family to take their decisions. So we have to empower them. And luckily, it's very good thing that many organizations and government is working on these areas. They are providing them about the best, their rights, that they can be that skilled one, they can take their own decisions. So this is very relevant and important thing which government is working and different social organizations are working. We can see that many women are like in corporate, in politics, everywhere. by Mother Teresa, Nita Ambani, Rita Faria, Kiran Majumdar, like n number of list is available with us. Where women got the best opportunity, she proved. So now we need to discuss the main issues. It means that how we can make a better society, a better world, for the sustainable world. For this, we have to take care from our family front also. We have to take care of our girls. We have to make them professionally sound, good, so that they can be independent. They can be a good earner. They can decide in a better way. We have to make our son to respect the girls. This is the main issue. This is the main thing. We need to focus upon that. So, and many other issues are also there. We need to address. If we talk about corporate, if we talk about different organizations, so it depends on the employer also, whether they are providing the best facilities to the women. Mean to say whether workforce diversity is considered in that organization or not. When it comes about maternity leave, when it comes about other facilities, so it should be given to the women. It means equal pay for the equal job, that should be there. Then we can say that yes, it is like the good workforce diversity is there. We are promoting towards the sustainability. So this is the need of the hour. Every employer need to focus on these kind of issues when designing the policies, whether their policies are good for women also, about their maternity leave, about their equal pay for equal scale, and other issues also. So now, like many, our Indian government is promoting many schemes for the women, like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and different issues. We can say women helpline schemes are available. One-stop center scheme is available here. Working women hostels are available. It means that government is promoting now this skill development for the rural area women. So this is the need of the hour. We have to focus more and more about these issues. These are the concerned one. So I would say women is having everything with her. Main important thing, if she has to raise, she has to identify her respect, her goal, her achievement, then where she wants to go. So this is the important thing, and these issues need to be addressed. Women is already empowered. She is already having everything with her, right? If anybody can like manage a home, those whom like husband, family, everyone is there. They people are taking care of the corporates. They people are taking care of the politics. So we can say she can manage. She is capable enough to do everything everywhere. But whether we are giving her the equal opportunities, better facilities. So this is the main important thing. And it is very nice and talking with all the dignitaries here. They raise many issues, and we can say yes, nowadays every corporate house, every government is supporting this issue, because to make a sustainable world, women, it is not about men and women. I never ever go for this kind of that gender diversity and all, because in our family we can see everywhere, we can see now more than 100 female are there. Everybody would be agree with me that yes, of course, in family also we are getting more than like equal respect. We can see in organizations everywhere it is happening. Main issue is for the rural area women, where they are not educated, where they are not aware of their rights. We have to make them aware. Then definitely we can go for a better sustainable world. And we are happy that we are just with VBFT organization, different schemes are there. We are promoting that kind of schemes and issues, and different other world organizations are also contributing in this. So I would say this is the right time. We can say empowered women can empower others. So just come and raise your voice and reach to your goal. It is the totally depends on the women that how she is taking care of these things. Don't be that bichari kind of, don't be that dependent kind of, because it is not the issues. Earlier were those kind of things were there. Now you are having equal rights, equal opportunities, and you are have to be aware of your rights. So come and join a empowered society for the better sustainable world. So my best wishes to all, and thank you so much for this wonderful platform. YUCI team really doing a great job. And I hoping that in future also we will be discussing on these issues frequently so that we can contribute in a significant manner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mom, for telling us that we as women need to elevate ourselves from these stereotypical expectations that are forced onto us, and that it is in our hands. We have the power to empower ourselves as long as we identify our own individuality, as long as we identify that we deserve respect and that the society and the environment around us doesn't define us. Thank you, Mom. It was truly eye-opening listening to you speak. So on to our next speaker. Good afternoon. My name is Radhika Ajit and I'm a member of YUCI. Our next speaker is an ESL, EFL, ESP trainer, a teacher trainer, a PhD in Pedagogy University. She took her MAs in the field of psychology and foreign language. She's an ESL teacher at the Hasdan Basic School and an ESL trainer at SKYENG. She's taken part in many different international conferences as a speaker in different international projects as an EFL trainer. And she's also the author of many scientific articles in the field of teaching English as a second or a foreign language and pedagogy. Currently, she is a volunteer in different international projects and companies such as HETT, Edu Armenia, ELTA University, etc. Currently, she is specialized and working in preparing a model of teachers trained on the virtual platform. So we would like to welcome you, Ms. Elisa from Armenia, to this conference. The stage is all yours now.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank for the invitation because it's for the first time to be in this platform with you. And I am very, very glad to be here and tried also to share my opinion and also some issues to solve and also some issues to just represent here about the women's rights. Because today I would like to talk a little bit about the gender empowerment and also I will stress on education of women. Being as a teacher and also teacher trainer, I have many opportunities. I have had many times many opportunities just to struggle against women, especially about my students, because I'm teaching not only at school, but also have many students from university, from colleges, who even students who are married and have their own families. And there is also, sometimes there are problems and also struggles, why not, some kinds of arguments about the getting education. But first of all, let's say that a little bit go back to the history about the women's rights. If we just take into account all the details and some kinds of peculiarities, we can just see that in the history, especially when we go prehistoric period, we can say that there was the power of women. It was high because men usually go to the forest for hunting, for getting food, and women have to stay at home and also in the caves and take care of children, everything, trying to rule and also to lead their economic, let's say, economy of their houses. But the times passed and the men started getting the power more and more. In some countries, if we just go to some kinds of research and observations, we can just see that there are many countries where you can see that there is a little bit the amount of women and men equality rights. It's normal, it comes to the normal. But in many countries, we know, especially we can see some countries where the rights are very different, and especially the men are, let's say, the powerful strain of the society, and women have very little rights. I will say that, first of all, it's guaranteeing the rights of the women and giving them opportunities to reach their full potential is critical, not only, for example, for attaining gender equality, but also for meeting a wide range of international development goals. But when we say gender, it describes as socially constructed roles and responsibilities that societies consider appropriate for men and women. As I have mentioned, I will stress on education, because education is a key area of focus. Because when we, in many families, especially, for example, as an example, I can bring from my Armenian, the families who have high education, who are developed woman and a woman and a man comes from this side, because we, after our family, we born here, we brought, after it we go to school. It's the first step of our just entering, being a member of society. And if we have, for example, schools where in every classroom we have boys and girls, it's natural, and everything comes from it, because from the early age the students, boys and girls, try to have equal rights about the education. And there is, for teachers, there is no difference. When you enter the classroom, in your classroom, you have, you just dominate boys or girls, and you have just to pay attention, more attention to the boys or girls. No, you have just to have equal right and attention for each student. And after, from the early age, you just bring up and teach children just to have equal rights about education. And after graduating the school, during the school years, they have not limited, but with cells that they have clear imagination and also ideas and thoughts about the rights of women. Because there can be some activities, there can be some kinds of projects, and there is no ban and there is no things that the women can't take part in this program, and because they are women. No, at schools there is equality, and they can take part in every kind of activity, project, because they are, first of all, student, not just as boy student or a school boy or school girl in this case. No, after graduating the school, if there is the, let's say that the index of being inequality of students between the gender, female and male gender, there is very little. At university, it differs, because many families think that girls, they don't have any kind of opportunity or right to go to enter the university, get a profession and continue. No, some families just think that the girl has graduated, for example, school, and it's time just, for example, home to get married and to take care of her family and also children. But there is, as the society develops, the index of being and getting higher education, it also differs. Because nowadays, for example, if many years ago, I can just bring as an example about one of the in the 18th century, when there were no medical schools for women, one American doctor, she decided to get degree of doctor. After applying for many schools, for entering such kind of medical schools, at last one of the schools admitted her, and she entered the college and became as a doctor. And she opened one of the first hospitals and also medical schools for women. At that time, if we very difficult, but nowadays, as our society has developed, nowadays we have more and more opportunities just to get higher education. And in many spheres, especially in sphere of teaching, in sphere of doctors, in sphere of many others, we can see many women who have high education, even if they have their PhDs, their honorary doctorate, and etc. And they work. But in some spheres, we still have a little amount of women. For example, in political sense, maybe in law, maybe in judge fields, we still have not equal, let's say, rights of women, because many of them, they can just enter the university, get their higher education, but they have no opportunity to get into this field and start their working. But we can say that we women are very strong. We are self-confident, and we have a very strong willpower, because we always struggle for our right in order to get our place in our society. And I think if we struggle, we will always succeed in it, and we will right in working, in having our status in the society, and also having our important role, not only in our family, but also in the development of our society. Be sure, be confident, and be always positive and full of energy, because if we have such kind of positive ideas and thoughts, we know that we will always succeed in it. And one day, maybe in all spheres, we will have, I'm sure one day we will have equality between men and women in this sphere. And there will be, but the just index of it will be very, very low, and we just won't pay attention to it, that there is no inequality between men and women. That day in future definitely will become. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, on highlighting that education is not only an opportunity, but on a special note is a fundamental right as well, which is a great thought process indeed. Good afternoon. I'm Vijayta Joshi, member of Youth United Council of India. Permanence, perseverance, persistence, in spite of all obstacles, discouragements, and impossibilities, it's all this that in all things distinguishes the strong soul from the weak, said by Thomas Carlyle. With this, let's hear about our next speaker. Ms. Bhavisha Budhadio is founder of Root Skills, Shashakt, and Roots Apps. Social enterprises have been actively promoting SDGs for the years in partnership with several leading industries, schools, colleges, institutions, government departments, and ministries, with the key objective to empower women and youth. Important initiatives include tree plantation drive, launching of eco-friendly products, and promotion of organic products, giving substantial income to farmers, women's self-help groups, international workshops to educate youth about circular economy, organic waste to strengthen agribusiness, menstrual hygiene, waste management, environmental issues, solar energy initiatives, and awareness and promotion of multiple intelligence skills, etc. With that, I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Youth United Council of India, for inviting me here at this esteemed platform for this very noble cause. And I'm really grateful to Rajput sir as well for introducing me with this beautiful platform and beautiful organization. When we talk about the empowerment of the woman, we all know that environment plays a very important role. Environment is the surrounding in which we are living, and which living and non-living things live. and interact, grow, and perish, whether it is natural environment or social cultural environment. Here we will talk on both. It is the expansion in women's ability to make strategic life choices in the context where this ability was previously denied to them. Being empowered women will have their freedom to choose these capacities in pursuit of better influencing the course of their lives and the decisions which affect them. Let's talk about the natural environment. We all know that the pollution level and AQI in metro cities, it's a rising day by worse. It is worse nowadays, and always we are talking about the rural area woman and rural situations. But think about the urban women who are working outside in this situation where AQI is very high and pollution is very high. So that's really affecting the health of the women and children in the urban places as well, and that ultimately resulting in so many problems such as malnutrition, low energy, absenteeism at workplace, less participation of women in sports and profession which require more hard work. So rural women are more stronger than the urban women nowadays. When we talk about this all resources, they are now privileged. Urban in compared to the urban woman, rural women are now having a very beautiful environment, pure air. So when we talk about the like my organization, Root Skills, so we are vigorously working to bring the change and to empower women through green skills. This way, we enter into the tree plantation, rainwater harvesting, waste management, etc. We all know that resources plays the most important role. When resources are lacking or limited, the woman is the one who suffers or sacrifices the first in and the most in the family. All the mothers are women, but not all the women are the mother. But we look at the mother as the Shakti, but community look at the woman as a Shakti? No, not always. The gap is, this gap is, like we think is created by parent only, because when we talk about both the parent, mom and dad, when we nurture our kids and when we we usually give different treatment to the girl and boy. Whatever we say, Kenny, we are equal, but yes, equal girls are more privileged, girls are being treated more wisely, and we pamper girls more when it comes to the giving the skills, gift of the skill and teaching. So boys are lacking. We are doing discrimination to the boys because whatever skills required, girls are very much intelligent. They are doing excellent in every field. But when when it comes to the teaching to the boys, usually we do discrimination at home, and that again ultimately in future when they grow up, they don't know how to cook, they don't know how to treat the woman, because they don't know they spend less time with their mother, right? So discrimination started from the home only, and we usually we parent, we women only created this gap. So now it is our duty to bridge this gap, and so I started from my home. My both the sons are they are helping me in every course of the, like in kitchen as well as in other household and everything, because we believe that traditional skills and non-traditional skills both are the very much necessary when we talk about the empowered woman. But if man is not empowered, man is not knowing these all traditional skills, this ultimately resulting into the discrimination with the woman, because women choose to live like that only because they because of the understanding and education. We know that the woman think that okay, if my partner don't know how to cook in the kitchen, let me choose this only, no matter if she is an engineer or doctor or whatever. But because of this if man is lacking, man is not empowered, then only woman is facing this problem. They can't choose their career whatever they want to pursue. Yes, but now because of this organization and this talk whatever we are doing, we are trying our best to bring the change. Our society has a wrong belief that if woman is working outside, then only she is empowered. But it is not true. Woman who is running home and managing family and all the need is also the empowered woman. In many cases, women who are working outside is not actually empowered in every field because they don't know the traditional skills. So this is the misconcept again here that rural women are less empowered. In fact, in a rural area when we go, woman is living far better than the urban woman. When we talk about the environment into the offices and metro cities and all, we all know what is happening and how everything we know that this is because of the lack of the So our organization are working to empower rural women as well as urban women, and we believe that changes can be possible only with bridging this gap, urban and rural. So our organization is trying to bridge this gap. So we are into youth empowerment, we are into tree plantation, we are working hard to empower women, and especially we are supporting self-help groups. We invite self-help groups to the Environment Expo as a speaker, as a supporter, as an exhibitors, and give the opportunity to showcase their talent.
Basically come out with solutions to these global problems that we are facing. A quarter of the globe's new energy.
So this is the Work with Plant initiative, wherein CEO or homemaker or director all work together on a same platform. And the reason behind this is equality, feeling of equality and self-respect. So here prop is the plant. And again, as we know that pollution is impacting a lot, so air purifier plants are there. And this is also again promoting handloom, and we are promoting handloom and air purifier plants by the self-help group. We support the women in sports, and we frequently organize marathon and other many activities to empower women. And we also try to give the support for the uniforms and everything. And this is the self-help group wherein we teach um, various activities like paper bags making and all. Basically, we are into environment conservation. And these are the rural women only, and they are enjoying their day at a wonderful place. This is my West Management group, wherein we conduct survey for the many organizations. Seed collections drive, because we know that resources are lacking, and so if we want to empower the woman, we need to generate our own resources. We need to realize that resources are limiting factor, and that is the main that is the most affecting to the woman. We also visit the farmers group to understand whether they are giving the right to the woman as well or not, because usually land rights and financial decision making right and all these are with men only, not with the woman. So that we really need to work again. We support the forest departments. We are into tree plantation, as we all know. So Yeah. So when we talk about the empowerment of the woman, we usually believe that rural women are not empowered, but now we associate with these organizations, food industries as well. And because when we talk about the empowered woman, and if they work outside, they need healthy food as well. So Rutskell started again uh, associating with other organizations to bring the change, because this is the limiting factor again, because we are not getting perfect food for the working woman. And we talk about the sports. When we talk about the sports, we know that our PM recently, we seen the one video wherein a PM was requesting everyone to take the healthy food, organic food. So this is only possible if we grow our organic food by ourselves, and we focus on the gaushalas and all, like cattle rearing. And nowadays we are not able to see anywhere the grazing lands and cows and all. So again, it is again affecting the health of the woman, especially mother, because mother is the creator, mother gives the birth, right? So again, this is really necessary to provide them the food, and proper healthy food to the mother. But it is not about the lacking of the money or finance. It is about, it is not available nowadays because of the like we know that many malpractices are going on, like in milk, in honey, in environment. We know that air is now polluted. So these all the reasons are affecting to the women's health as well as their professions. So again, we need to work on the same as well. We know that the 50% of the population in the world is the woman, right? But all the women are not contributing to the economy. So even with this understanding, if we say that if both the parent are working, if women and men both works together, then only we can achieve the goals. And if we talk about the taxpayer in India, if we talk about the India, there are very less percentage ratio of the women who are paying the tax. So again, the idea of the empowerment, however, is to include all those others who are neglected in this all processes, right? So especially decision making, and other opportunities like leadership, and again we can say about the political sector. So these all are affecting our society, and if we want to bring the change, then we really need to think about the these all things. So when opportunities are created for women in terms of the education and profession in their field of interest without any restrictions or limitations, then it is empowering. And this is all we need to do. We all need to work on the same, that we don't need to only educate girl but also the boys. And educated girls are the one who become the woman with self-confidence in future. And we really need to work on that only. And taking the education as the tool, only we can achieve this goal. Women empowerment is only possible with this only, right? So when we talk about the cultural changes, so in our we are collaborated with the different NGOs and MNCs, and we partnered with the Sanskriti Center for Cultural Excellence in UK, and has been actively working and promoting the folk music of various states and creating women-friendly environment. And our special initiatives, water around the world, work with plant and work with life, honey week celebrations, and national handloom week celebrations, letter to self, letter to mother, because we usually forget to say her thank you. So we recently celebrated Mother's Day with this initiative, like letter to your mom, because we really need to thank to the mom ultimately, because whatever she is doing, sacrifices, so many sacrifices she's having. So we should appreciate the effort of the both the parent. I mean, but ultimately mothers' efforts are more because they are more emotionally attached with the kids. Mothers spend more time with the women spend more time with the kids usually. Uh, so, but yeah, it is again happiness, again a pleasure. Empowerment is the power within to articulate power to develop the skills, power with which collective action is made possible. So, in our organization, Root Skills, we merge traditional as well as non-traditional skills, and we focus on this both traditional as well as non-traditional skills, and then only we can bring the change. Thank you so much once again, everyone, and look forward to speak again to your next conclave. And that time, I expect the topic will be the empowerment of the men instead of the woman. I think so. Thank you so much. Yeah. So.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Bhavisha, for such a fantastic presentation, ma'am. Thank you so much. I love the way you spoke about rural and urban women, and also the difficulties they face irrespective of their backgrounds, from where they come from. You have such an inspiring organization, ma'am. Truly appreciate it. The work that you're doing to uplift the women out there. You're such an inspiration. And also you spoke about educating both men and women, which is really important. So we are really glad having you here today. Thank you so much, Mrs. Bhavisha. So moving on, I think passion is the secret ingredient that drives hard work and excellence. So our next speaker, she is a TV filmmaker, an author, and a journalist. She's also the founder of TIMA, the Ideal Man Awards. She's the co-founder of Hello Gujarat Achievers book series. She's the creative head for HelloGujaratTV.com. She's also the owner for Dirga Media Production House and HelloGujaratTV.in. She's also working with international, national, and regional media since 1999. Let me welcome you all to Mrs. Manisha Sharma. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello all. Big wala hello to all lovely and kind souls. I believe that female is not just, just a power. She is superpower. She has the potential to change anything and, everything. I would like to quote, hands that move the cradle, rule the world. If she decides to do something, she will definitely accomplish it. She's awesome. When she decides her path and cater her field, she's special. When she starts working for that, she's beautiful when she's broken. She is special when she's a working woman, as we all are. She's Manisha when she's interacting with you all lovely people. Empowerment is empowerment is within us. We just have to breathe it. Female can do everything, anything, which man cannot. This is my personal, personal review that many things which I can do, males around me are not doing that. Who are unable to do this all. Being successful, I faced many hurdles. Many times I was broken. I felt as if I was lost myself, but my passion never. I am passionate always. That is why I am here in front of you. I decided my goal and kept walking towards it continuously as well, tireless. I never tired. मैं कभी थकती नहीं. I never get, just I have to leave this. I'm passionate. I can work 24 hours because I am 24/7. 24th July is my birthday. So this is, this is a gift to me by the entire nature. Here I am listening all the, prominent leaders, prominent speakers who are working very great things towards the field of women empowerment. I can say empowerment is not needed for female. The word empowerment is not meant for female. Female are already empowered because she can handle the situations. She's multitasking. She can, she can work with her children as well at the simultaneous time. She can work with her team. She can speak on the issues. She can work on issues. So she's superpower. So empowerment word is for other genders, not for female. We are already empowered. Just we need some path. We need guidance. We need to, we need to close all the boundaries. There we are awesome. Friends, here I want to show you one film, one documentary film which is made by me on some girls who were in forced prostitution. They were in some brothels, and some NGOs work for them. Now they are empowered. They are earning their bread butter herself. They are now, empowered ladies. So this is the, very significant story of some girls who were in forced prostitution. Just allow me screen mirroring. I'm going to screen one film. It is of just 5 minutes. Okay. I am sharing screen.
तो खुद की खोज में निकल तो किस लिए हताश है तो तेरे वजूद की समय को भी तलाश है, समय को भी तलाश है।
रोज सुबह नई रोशनी यह 7000 जिंदगियों को भी उज्जवल करती है। ये कलियां भी अब मुस्कुराती हैं, गुनगुनाती हैं। अन्य मनुष्यों की तरह इन्होंने भी अब जिंदगी को संजोना शुरू किया है। आजकल इनमें भी जिंदगी खुद के दम पर जीने की हिम्मत आई है। अब इनका भी लक्ष्य है गौरवपूर्ण जीवन। हाँ, मानव होने का एहसास अब इन्हें भी होने लगा है।
आज मैं अपना ब्रेड बटर अपना कमा सकती हूँ।
अपने पैरों पे खड़ी यह मासूम और नाबालिग लड़कियों को कुछ दिन पहले ही देह व्यापार के नर्क से बचाया गया है। देखिए किस बेरहमी से इन्हें अगवा किया गया था। विश्व में प्रतिवर्ष 50,000 से भी ज्यादा महिलाएं और नाबालिग कन्याओं की मानव तस्करी होती है। दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया एवं भारत में यह दुष्ट कर्म की संख्या दिन प्रतिदिन बढ़ रही है। अगवा करके लाई गई महिलाओं में से 70% लड़कियां नाबालिग होती हैं। पूरे विश्व में 30 लाख से भी ज्यादा महिलाएं वेश्यावृत्ति, आज इन्हें तिरस्कार और घृणा से देखता है, मगर देह व्यापार के दलदल में जबरन फंसी है लाचार और बेबस लड़कियों को गौरवपूर्ण जिंदगी देने का भगीरथ कार्य भी है।
रेस्क्यू फाउंडेशन ने आज तक 7,000 से ज्यादा लड़कियों को जबरन देह व्यवसाय से मुक्त करवा के उनका पुनर्वसन किया। काम कर रही है, आर्टिफिशियल ज्वेलरी की फैक्ट्रिया में काम कर रही है। तो 2,000 से भी ज्यादा लड़कियां अपने पैरों पे खड़ी हैं।
यातना भरे दिनों को भुलाकर ये लड़कियां जीवन की नई राह पर चल रही हैं। इन्हें रेस्क्यू होम में पढ़ाई के साथ साथ खेती, सिलाई, कढ़ाई, ज्वेलरी मेकिंग, पशुपालन, ब्यूटी पार्लर और कंप्यूटर सिखाए जाते हैं। कौशलशाली बनने के बाद यह बेटियां पूरे आत्मविश्वास के साथ समाज के मुख्य प्रवाह में घुल रही हैं। यह अब आत्मनिर्भर हैं, अर्थनिर्भर हैं।
Friends, so this is the film of real empowerment, girls who were in forced prostitution. Now these girls are empowered. They are earning their bread butter, and now they are not, in brothels. Now they are with us in like us. So if these females can do anything, then why not we? I have to quote one thing with you that many times we quote it. दुनिया से 2 कदम पीछे ही सही, मगर अपने पर जीना है, अपने दम पर जीना है. These girls are, these girls are walking apart, some ways, some steps apart from the mainstreams, but they are living on their own. So this is the real empowerment, which I want to discuss with you. Our company, Devi Media News Content Pro Agency, and is working for this kind of issue-based films. We made around 100 different documentary films on issues, and this is one of them. So I need to conclude. I think the session, my time is over. Mr. Rajput, thank you so much connecting with me, this all wonderful super group. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Manisha Sharma, for such an amazing presentation. You're such a strong and a powerful and a passionate woman. When you played the video and it started with all those, innocent smiles, happy smiles. And then when we went towards the end of the video, we got to know about what they faced, abductions, forced prostitution, humiliation, and everything out there. And then at the end, we get to see those females standing strong, standing independent with their heads held high. It's such a proud moment, truly. And what you're doing for the community is really, really big, ma'am. Kudos to all your efforts. We're extremely honored to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mrs. Manisha. Thank you. So the way to get started is to quit talking and to begin doing. Gauri Das is an engineer turned HR professional who has a keen interest in human psychology. She's a strategic HR leader with 15 years of experience in crafting and aligning HR strategy with business goals. She supports business leaders and individuals in driving performances and improving capabilities. She carries a wealth of experience with both startups and well-established organizations. She loves high energy and a growth-focused environment. She's a passionate speaker and has spoken in multiple national and international forums, including TEDx. She is the lead membership for Professional Speakers Association of India, Mumbai chapter PSAI. She mentors students and professionals and guides them on being future ready with a possibilitarian attitude. Passion with compassion is her mantra. Let me welcome you all to Miss Gauri Das. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for this graceful introduction. And I really feel glad being here today because there are so many wonderful women doing loads of work. So today, when I wrote about this particular topic that I'm going to be part of this wonderful International Women's Summit, and I said that in India, we worship goddess. And my name symbolizes the goddess for power, goddess for strength. Then somebody from Germany wrote that I am in India for 7 months and I have never seen any empowerment for women. So why this contradiction that you worship women, you worship goddesses, and here you are, only 19% women are employed, or less than 3% women are having CXO roles in India. Why this contradiction? So this is what we have to work on. This is what we have to rectify. And such summits, such forums are extremely amazing and commendable platforms for people to come together, share their thoughts, and help each other towards this particular cause. So for me, women empowerment or anything has to start from self. My formula for empowerment is SAS, S-A-S, and S stands for self-leadership. I believe that we are not born with a manual, but if we were to, the first chapter would be on self-leadership. Because we are CEO, we are chief, we are captain of our own life, as Peter Drucker says. So if we have to be there, we have to reach there, we have to start from our own leadership. We have to show it to the world that we have it in us and we are there already. It's just that you are not recognizing us. And how do we develop this self-leadership? First thing is self-awareness. Lot of time we think that we know each of us ourselves very well, but that's not right. A research from Harvard University proved that 95% people don't know themselves well. What happens if we don't know ourselves well? If we don't know ourselves well, we don't know how do we behave in a particular situation. What is our strength? What is our weakness? What is the area that we need to work upon? And what is the area we can leverage more? When we don't know this and we go to our seniors in corporates or even at home, we are at mercy of their evaluation. So first thing is we have to understand ourselves, which is self-awareness. And how does it come from or where does it come from? The first thing that is most important is feedback. For me, 25 feedback in a year is the key to understand myself better. And believe me, when I started this process, first year I was in for a shock because I didn't know so many blind spots about myself. And once I started understanding, I started gathering that what it is that I need to do and what it is that I am already good at. So first thing is feedback. Second is self-reflection. If something goes well, we need to evaluate what happened that it went well and what was the strength involved. And if something doesn't go well, then again we need to evaluate what we couldn't do well. So asking these questions like, what did I do the best, what I could not do as planned, and what am I going to do to make it better, would help us understand our own strength and our own blind spots. Now that we know ourselves and we know what are the challenges that we have and what is the strength, the next step is to accept ourselves. Because the moment we know ourselves, it's like, I am not good enough. The negative mind starts talking, the negative talk comes up and it tells us that we are not enough, we can't do, see so many weaknesses. The focus would not be on strengths, but it would be on weaknesses. So we have to accept ourselves and consider that nobody is perfect and life is a continuous learning journey. So we know ourselves, we accept ourselves, and then we move towards self-development. How do we do self-development? By learning, by having this constant learning agility, by connecting with mentors, coaches, and most importantly, having this inner strength and thinking that things are under our control. It's intrinsic, it's not extrinsic. For example, if we keep the garbage bag at some place and the truck does not pick it up, the answer is that truck did not do it, we did not have anything in our control. But if we keep the garbage bag at wrong place and truck doesn't pick it up, it means we did not do our work well. So we should consider that to a large extent, life is decided by what we do and how we do. And there is some limitation that we will always have, which will be always extrinsic, but we have to play to the intrinsic levels, so that whatever is possible within our strength, we achieve it. And that's how we will grow and we will develop. So this was S. Next comes A. A is for ask. Now let me tell you a story about this ask. So this story is about Renu and Vishal. Renu comes, both of them come from North Indian families where women are not educated. Men would not do anything at home and they can't even pick up a glass of water. If they do that, then mothers or grandmothers will tell what these women are doing, that men have to go and fetch the water glass. So they are totally aloof to what's happening at home. They'll just go out, study when they are kids. And finally, when they are married, everything would be on the women of the house. Like Bhavisha said that she is educating her sons. This was not the case 20 years ago when the story of Renu and Vishal was happening. So this was the environment where they grew up. And finally, when they got married and they came to a large city, Renu had a baby girl and she was swamped with work, but she had this thought process that I have to do everything and I need to run the house, because this is how she had seen her mother, her grandmothers doing it. Only difference, she was a working woman, but still the belief do not change, right? It takes time for us to change our beliefs. So she continued with it, second child, and still she was swamped with work. She was overwhelmed. And one day when she saw that her friends' husbands were supporting them and they were also encouraging her to speak to him why she's not helping, she shouted with full emotions, you never help me and I have to do everything at home. This is how we are going to run the house. And it was not going to run for a very long time. When this happened, Vishal was stunned. Yes, because he never thought that he has to help her to run. Because this is what he had seen all the time, that his mother never asked for help. Rather, if he goes to kitchen and he fetches a glass of water, he will be scolded because that's not his role. So ask, because if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And if we have to move forward as women, we have to do it both at home and workplaces. Ask at workplace, you made this contribution, why you are not given reward about it, why you are not evaluated same ways as men, why you are always told that you have to organize for this party, why men can't come forward and organize a party, why you should do something which is not part of your JD and you are not even encouraged for it or acknowledged for it. You should never take up those things. So start asking questions, have data to support. Because if you don't have data, business is not going to listen to you. Business understands only data. And at home also, you have to count that this is what's happening in the world. And this is how things are changing. You have only 24 hours in a day, and you have to manage both work and home. So men of the house have to support. So this is A from SAS. And finally, S. S stands for society, which includes all the genders. We have always heard that women do not support each other, but things are changing for good. We are so many women coming together and supporting each other. I run a circle of women, which is called as leaders lifting leaders, because we consider all of us are leaders. We are leading ourselves at least. It's not as per designation. At home also we are leading our kids. So all of us are leaders, and 120 women have come together to become cheerleaders for each other, supporters for each other, and we are really helping each other in achieving our professional goals and supporting, creating a safe space to share. So things are really improving with these forums, with women coming out and supporting each other, because they know if they don't support each other, there are external challenges already. So let's come together and support each other. Men also have to play a very yours. So who is decision maker? Men are decision maker, and that's where men have to support women in moving forward. Now, how do they do it? They can become sponsors for women. They can support them in learning, networking, which is not very strong, traditionally strong strength for women. They can evaluate women fairly, and they can raise their voice when somebody else is not doing it. I have seen instances in boardroom when women start sharing something, she will be asked to keep quiet, or somebody will interrupt. And research has also proved that women are interrupted much more than men, because it is thought that they are there just to organize parties, and whatever work has been given to them, they have to do that. They do not add value. Here, men have to come forward, and they have to become advisor for women. They have to become advocate for women, and they have to support them so that their voices are heard, their treatment is fair, and they are supported additionally in moving forward. And when a woman moves forward in corporate, generally it is said that there will be something more than what meets our eyes. Such thought processes have to be changed, and this has to be done by men, because they are in leadership position, they are in position of authority. And finally, this has to happen at home also. It's not that you just behave very well at work because everybody is watching with their diversity and inclusion targets, or this is one of the buzzword today, but you have to support women equally at home as well. And I heard many positive stories during COVID that men came forward and they supported women in work so that they could manage everything. But there were also stories where women had to quit work because it was unmanageable for them. It was overwhelming for them. So this S, the third S, is the most important one, because here is where society's belief lies. So for me, it is SAS. We have to change our beliefs first. We have to ask for help, and society also has to come forward and support women to achieve 100% empowerment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, ma'am. Thank you for throwing light into the irony of our society, where we worship goddess on one hand, on the other hand, we don't even treat women equally. You made us believe that self-awareness is the start of women empowerment. Thank you, ma'am. Moving further with the event, our next speaker is Melissa Antoinette Devi. She is a well-renowned professional with 5 years of experience in management of media, communications, and public relation project, and 15 years of experience in banking. She is a media and a PR consultant. She has also hosted Girl Power radio broadcasts. She has managed external communication and media relations for different companies, managed and executed anti-corruption training to 2,500 persons from governmental organization, non-governmental organization, private sector, and civic society, managed media and public relation for public officials, worked with US-based NGO focused on eliminating joblessness, suicide, and domestic violence, delivered motivational speeches for various organizations, and has done modeling. She has also functioned as customer service and sales consultant for various organizations, worked in the banking sector for 15 years, given Best Supporting Player Award within the banking sector for 2 years, bachelor's degree in sociology, University of Guyana. She is currently reading for a master's degree in business administration at University of South Wales, received certification in anti-money laundering from International Law Institute and United States Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service, Criminal Investigation. She has also received certificate from the Caribbean Institute of Forensic Accounting. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
Good morning, everyone. That was quite an introduction. Thank you so much. Could everybody hear me well? Could you just indicate if you're hearing me well?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Well, I love what the previous speaker was saying. Now, I never met her, but somehow or the other, we were thinking along the same lines, because this morning I want to talk to us briefly about knowing your identity. So let's think about this. If you went on the road and something happened to you, maybe, you fainted and you were unconscious, the person who would come up to help you, they would first check for your ID, all right? They would first check for your identification card, because they want to know who you are. They want to know if you're Melissa Devi, if you're Elisa White. They want to know these things. If you're John Jones, as we would say, all right? Because whether you fainted or whether you are well, whatever situation you're in, as long as you are going to conduct certain official business, persons would ask for your ID card, because they want to know who you are, all right? And what does your ID card have on it, all right? Now, your ID card could come in the form of a passport, all right? Or it could just say identification card, like in some countries. Or for some people, they would use their driver's license as an identification card. And so on these documents, on these identification documents, there are certain facts about you. So for me, I'm 5 feet 4 inches. So that's what would be on my identification card, whether it's my passport, driver's license, or, a regular ID card. It would have my height on it. It would have the color of my skin, the color of my eyes. It would have certain distinguishing marks that are unique to me. So if I had a birthmark on my cheek, like I don't know if you guys remember Marilyn Monroe. She was, she was a famous singer, I think back in the 50s or 60s. And I think she had a birthmark somewhere around her mouth, all right? And so that would have been on her identification card, all right? And so we want to talk about knowing your identity, all right? And so, like I was saying, whether you are in India, whether you're in the USA, whether you're in Canada, your identity remains the same. If your name is Melissa Devi in the United States, it's going to be the same thing in India. Regardless of what circumstance you find yourself in, you are still the same person, all right? And so why is knowing your identity important? Now, we all know our names. We all know certain distinguishing facts about ourselves, but there's also a mental and psychological identity that we should all be familiar with. it's very important for us to know our mental and psychological identity. And why is that important? It's important because when we go through challenges in life, sometimes we tend to forget who we truly are. And when we remember our mental and psychological identity, it's a lot better for us when we are going through difficulties because we don't forget who we truly are. And for me, my identity is found in God. All right. And it's found in what he says about me. So regardless of whether I'm having a bad day or a good day, he says I'm wonderfully made. He says I'm gorgeous, that I'm beautiful. All right. Now, beauty varies depending on where you are. You know, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that's okay. Someone may not find you beautiful, but does that change the fact that you're absolutely beautiful, that you're absolutely wonderfully made? No, it does not change the fact. All right. Just because someone may not think that you're beautiful, that has nothing to do with you. The Most High God, he says you are beautiful. He says you're wonderfully made. And that's a part of your mental and psychological identity. He also says you can do all things. That's right. We can do all things through God who strengthens us. He says you were made in his image. Oh yes, he did say that. You were made in his image. You were literally made in the image of God, you and I. He calls you royalty. Let me repeat that. He calls you royalty. Just in case you didn't hear me the first time. He says that you are royalty. So whether you live in a one-bedroom apartment, two-bedroom apartment, or whether you live in a mansion, he calls you royalty. He also calls you blessed. As long as you have life, you are definitely blessed. And he also says many other things about you. All right. And it's very important to remember that it's all about your mental and psychological identity in God. Because in life, you would find that you will go through ups and you will go through downs. But it's your identity. It's knowing who you are that will get you through those tough times in life. So whether you're going through a breakup, whether you're going through a divorce, whether maybe you just lost a job, whether you were rejected for a promotion, you still have to remember who you are, regardless of what life throws at you. So remembering our God-given identity gives us peace of mind. It makes us more confident. It helps us to understand that when a person treats us poorly, that it's not a reflection of us. It is a reflection of them. Now, I'm going to get into this relationship side just a little bit more. And as long as I've been living, whenever a person's partner cheats on them, especially a female, all right? Whenever their partner, maybe unfaithful to them, the first question that comes to mind, am I not good enough? Am I not beautiful? Do I have too much weight? And we start picking ourselves apart. But as a woman, you must build your identity in God so that anything that happens to you in life, you would realize that it's not that you weren't good enough. You are good enough. You are beautiful. You're special. You're amazing. It's just that the person who was unfaithful to you is that they have a problem because they couldn't control themselves. All right. So our God-given identity could help us even through times like those when we feel rejected, when we feel beaten down. It will help us to remember that even though, yes, we may have certain flaws, all right, everybody has a little flaws here and there, but even though we may have certain flaws, whenever someone treats us poorly, it's never a reflection of us. It's always a reflection of them. So my sister who's listening to me today, empower yourself by understanding your God-given identity, because you never know what situation you are going to encounter in this life. And when you encounter those negative situations, remembering who you are will make it a lot more bearable. All right? So remembering our God-given identity can also save us from abuse as women. It can also save us from being taken advantage of as women. There are lots of women who remain in abusive situations because they forgot who they are. They remain in abusive situations, not because they didn't have the finances to get out of that situation, but they remain there because they simply forgot that they're amazing. They simply forgot that, hey, if I'm being treated badly over here, I don't have to stay here. I know who I am. I don't have to go through abuse to get love. All right? As a matter of fact, there's no love in abuse. They're two totally different terms. As far as the East is from the West, that's how far love and abuse are from each other. And when we know who we are, we will never sit in an abusive relationship. We would never sit in a relationship where we are being taken advantage of when we know who we are. As a matter of fact, when we know who we are, it will guide who we associate with. It will help us with selecting our friendships. When we know who we are, it guides our self-belief and it helps us with our self-esteem. So many times, our self-esteem may be low because we simply don't know who we are. Maybe no one ever told us who we are. And that's why we as women also have to teach our younger girls who they truly are. Because many of our younger girls, they think that who they are is just what's on that passport or what's on that identification card or what's on that student ID or that driver's license. So we have to teach them who they are. We have to help our young ladies to know that, listen, young girl, you are simply amazing. You are talented. You're beautiful. You're wonderfully made. You were made in God's image. When we tell our young girls these things, these facts, when we pass on these facts to our young girls, we will be eliminating lots of self-esteem issues right away. All right? Even if they do have battles with self-esteem, it will not be that severe because we are now reintroducing them to who they really are. We must repeat these facts daily. We must repeat, he says, that's God. He says, I'm wonderfully made. He says, I can do all things. He says, I was made in his image. He calls me royalty. We must repeat, he says, I am blessed. When we repeat these facts that describe who we are in God, when we repeat these facts, there is no man, there is no job, there is no circumstance that can truly weigh us down. Because if he says I'm royalty and somebody else thinks that I'm not, well, I'm not going to worry about what they think. I am going to proceed with what God thinks about me. And we must remember, whatever we think, that's what we will manifest. There's lots of talk these days about manifestations. But whatever we think about ourselves, that's the kind of behavior that we are literally going to manifest. If we think that, hey, I'm amazing, if we think I'm beautiful, if we think I'm wonderfully made, if we think I can do all things, if we think I'm royalty, that's exactly how we are going to carry ourselves. So my encouragement to all of us beautiful ladies today is that we must find our identity in God. We don't need to find our identity in any circumstance. We don't need to find our identity in any situation. I was talking to a young woman recently, and she said when she went through a particular circumstance, it was so devastating because the persons kept saying all kinds of bad things about her. She said, and for a moment, she forgot who she was. For a moment, she was so worried about what they said about her. So I had to remind her, as my dear friend, I had to remind her who she is in God. All right? And so as women, let's remind ourselves, let's remind our sisters, let's remind our daughters, let's remind our female folk who they are in God. So know your identity. All right? So it was really wonderful speaking to you ladies today. And I'm leaving love, blessings, and lots of girl power to you. Remember, know your identity. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving your time for the event, ma'am. Thank you for letting our fellow viewers understand how important it is to know our identity so that we don't forget who we truly are, so that we don't question ourselves when the society does. Thank you, ma'am. Moving further with the event, speakers who talk about what life has taught them never fail to keep the attention of their listeners. Jonai Walker is a personal growth and business development speaker, coach, and trainer. She is the creator of Perfect Your Pitch, irresistible sales conversation that converts, which is a byproduct of her multiple national award-winning sales career. She comes with over 17 years of sales experience in the education, medical, and advertising industries. She is also the Chief Inspiration Officer at the Success Group Incorporation and the founder of the Confident Women Crushing Goals Group. Her hopes to inspire both entrepreneurs and career professionals to be the absolute best versions of themselves. She's a devoted Christian, loves connecting with others, and currently resides in Coral Springs, Florida. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for allowing me to be here. This is such a great opportunity to connect with people from across the globe. I believe women's empowerment is just as important as any other thing that's happening in the world today. And I'm so happy that I get to connect with each and every one of you and share something that's really important to me. I just really want to hone in on what the last speaker said. She says, know your identity, right? Knowing your identity is key in any type of empowerment, right? We have to know ourselves so we can empower ourselves. Sometimes we can't wait for other people to empower us. Sometimes that empowerment has to come from within, and that's just as important. And Melissa was right. Whatever you think you are, or whatever you think you become. And that empowerment tells us that we have the power to think ourselves to be whatever it is that we want us to be. That's the real power. That's where we can see our hope for our future. And we do have to tell young girls that they have this power because they don't know. And I did not know. And I don't know how many other women on this conference today know that they have the power to make a difference in their life just by controlling whatever it is that you think. And so I want to go ahead and share out my screen. I've prepared a slideshow for you today on how you can live your best life. So what I wanted to cover with you all today, and let me just move my screen. Let's see. So what I wanted to cover with you today is learning to live your best life on purpose. And I'm going to give you 6 steps, 6 key steps to unlocking your happiness and achieving more. Finding your purpose in life can turn everything around for you. And it can mean that It can make your life more immediately more meaningful, and it can give you a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Hello, am I speaking to myself, right? Living with purpose helps to make the tough times easier, and we all have tough times that we have to deal with. And it makes the good times that we experience even better. And who wouldn't want that? So this presentation is perfect for anybody who's ready to level up and succeed in their business or succeed in their career. This presentation is for those who feel like they have what it takes to make it happen, but they just need some extra mojo to get it going. This presentation is for those who are ready to kick fear, imposter syndrome, and feelings of not being good enough to the curb and live out their wildest dreams. This presentation is for those who are ready to be happy. Are you ready to be happy? And this is for those who are ready to get more done in their life. So like the moderator said, yes, my name is Janae Walker, and I am the Chief Inspiration Officer of the Success Group, Inc. And I'm an international speaker, coach, and trainer, and I specialize in lead generation, sales, but also professional development. And I am excited to be presenting to you today. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing you need to do in order to live your best life and to live a best life on purpose is to know what your beliefs are. Because living life with purpose starts with understanding your own personal systems of values and beliefs, knowing who you are, right? Knowing your identity. It helps you to know what's important to you and what really matters to you. See, when you understand your beliefs, you can start to live by sticking to what's important in your moral universe. You have a list that you can use to guide the way that you make your decisions, set your priorities, and it literally is the foundation of your integrity. And it's how you will begin to judge yourself and how you will begin to see yourself. But it's also how others will judge you and how others will see you. This is what is meant by living a life in alignment. And when you live in alignment with the beliefs, you will begin to earn respect and you will earn trust for those that you encounter. And we all know about the KLT factor, the know, like, and trust factor. And this literally is our foundation. The second thing that we have to do is we have to get clear on our priorities. Get clear on what's really important. See, your priorities are literally shaped by your purpose. And once you know what your purpose is, it really becomes easier to plan out what it is that you want to do and how you want to achieve your goals, right? This clarity means that saying a definite no. And how many of us women have a problem saying no? I will be the first person to raise my hand up and say, I used to have a problem saying no, and sometimes I still do, right? But when you are clear in your priorities, it means that you have things that you are going to say a definite no to. And then there are those things that you are going to be a solid yes. And those decisions, they start to become more natural and you'll get ahead faster and you'll start to achieve your goals. The third thing that we need to do is we need to aim for balance. Women, we need balance in our lives, right? We need balance. Or there's this thing called toxic productivity, which you can find yourself in. But once you become comfortable with your life purpose, some of the hardships that we experience, some of the anxieties of life will ease up. You won't have to work for it 24/7. Ladies, we should not be working 24/7. Because when you live a balanced life and you know, and when you know how important it is to stay healthy emotionally and physically, ladies, we need to be healthy emotionally and physically. People living with purpose, they make sure they connect with the people that they love. And most importantly, they do not forget about their self-care. Number 4 is follow your passion. Knowing your passion will help you find and nurture your purpose. And I believe you don't find your purpose. I believe you create it. If that is empowering to some of you, I really hope it is, because it was definitely empowering for me, because a lot of times people spend time trying to figure out what their purpose is. And the true power of purpose is that you get to create it, right? And passion, when you follow your passion, you're following things that you're energetic about, that you're motivated about, right? It also means being really engaged and being focused on getting the most out of it. A new day is full of opportunities and promise. And you wake up each and every morning excited and ready to go for it. So follow your passion. Next up is feel your contentment, right? This might sound a little surprising, but when you are living life on purpose, it allows you to take the time to smell the roses, to stop and be present and smell the roses, right? Knowing your life purpose, it takes the edge off of things and it allows you to feel grateful. Gratitude is another important thing when it comes to life, right? It makes you feel grateful for where you are right now, in life. And it helps you to be excited for the future. This in turn will lead to your happiness. And we need to be happy. We deserve to be happy, right? And number 6, live in the present. The best gift of life is knowing that you are getting to enjoy every single moment. There's no room for regret. There's room for adventure and hope and promises. And challenges, yes, they're going to come. Setbacks, yeah, we're going to have plenty of them. But they'll be so much easier to ride out because you're not letting failure, and failure comes, right? You're not letting failure define you. Being plugged into the present allows you to experience the abundance that's already in your life. So there you have it. We just covered how to live your best life with purpose. I gave you 6 steps to how you can unlock your happiness, how you can achieve more in everything that you do, because you do deserve it. Women, you deserve it. Type in the chat if you believe it. Type in the chat if you believe that you deserve it, and put it out there in the universe. You were meant for this. So know your beliefs, get clear on your priorities, aim for balance, follow your passion, feel contentment, live in the present. And I hope I was able to give you some information to help you to learn, do, and become the absolute best version of yourselves. My name is Rania Walker. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, thank you so much for being committed to your growth. Feel free to connect with me on social media at Rania Walker, or on my website at raniawalker.com, where I have tons of free resources in the areas of sales, marketing, and professional development. Thank you so much. I will see you all around. Stay blessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving your time for this event and for making us realize that empowerment comes from within. Thank you for sharing those 6 steps with us. I'm pretty sure all of us are now ready to kick out fear within us and are ready to be happy. Thank you, ma'am. Moving further with the event, never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. With this quote, I heartily welcome our next speaker for this event, Dr. Rubaika Fidwi. She's a skilled, ethical, committed, compassionate, and a client-centered physician and psychotherapist, having over 10 years of work experience with diverse client population in inpatient, outpatient, university, and prison settings. Dr. Fidwi is proficient in conducting both individual and group psychotherapy from an anti-oppressive, strength-based, inclusive, and culturally informed perspective. She is also a national certified counselor in the United States and was a lead trainer for the training of trainers for cognitive behavioral interventions. She also enjoys volunteering and is affiliated with the Toronto Humane Society, Daily Bread Food Bank, and Homeless Connect Toronto organizations. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Shana, for the gracious introduction. And it's been so lovely to be on this platform and listening to all you wonderful women. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be part of this this movement, this event. You know, women empowerment is something that's really important to me. I can, you know, through my time today, hopefully I can share things that have helped me empower myself. That's a big thing that I preach and I believe in when I work with my clients. And I'm so glad that I actually have my talk after Janai, because a lot of what Janai spoke about, I'm going to be kind of expanding, emphasizing as well in my talk with you guys. So I have basically, when I think about empowerment, there are three principles that I personally believe in. And as I said, when I work with clients, these are three things that I emphasize. So the first most important thing for me is practicing authenticity. You know, for many years of my life, I was very inauthentic. You know, I did not know who I was. I was living according to the expectations of other people. But, you know, in the recent past, I decided to, you know, walk on this path of authenticity, really get to know who I am. And when I work with clients, I really ask people to introspect, reflect, take a good look at yourself, and basically understand what your own personal values are. Janai talked about contentment, and I believe in that as well. And we are truly content when we are living in alignment with our values. So being authentic also involves being vulnerable. I know, shocker, right? Like when you say vulnerable, people don't want to feel vulnerable. But I can tell you that there has been so much of freedom for me in being authentic and being vulnerable. Those interactions with other people are more genuine when we are truly being ourselves. So my first principle, as I said, is being authentic. The other thing that I have is my mantra of find your passion, fulfill your purpose. I think John and I talked about that as well. And I think when you're truly authentic, you can introspect, see really what speaks to you, and follow that path. The second thing I want to talk about is being able to free yourself from self-limiting beliefs. I think a lot of us kind of stay shackled because we are buying into those self-limiting beliefs. So three of the beliefs that I believe held me back. The first thing is approval seeking. So as women, you know, I feel like we are constantly trying to please everybody in our lives. And I think the most important person that we need to think about pleasing is ourselves. So first thing, stop being an approval seeker. The second thing that I realize, and this is from my own personal life as well, is being shackled to the past. Right? So whatever happened in the past, that's in the past. As I tell people that, you know, when you're driving, where do you want to focus? Do you want to focus like on what's gone behind or what's right there in front of you? Because if you're focusing on the rear view mirror all the time, you're probably going to land up with an accident, right? So you want to be focusing ahead. Yes, definitely. We want to look at the past from time to time for lessons learned. But again, living in the present, looking towards the future. Another self-limiting belief, I would say, for me, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So again, now let's talk a little bit about the expectations that one has of themselves, right? When your expectations are sky high, when your expectations are unrealistic, right? We're setting ourselves up for failure, right? So be really realistic about what you want in your life. That way we can create more realistic goals to move towards, you know, whatever it is that fulfills you, whatever it is that is your purpose in life. I like how Gauri from before talked about identifying your strengths. And I think, you know, it's really important for us to identify, acknowledge, and celebrate our strengths. There are going to be so many moments in life, you know, when we don't feel as capable. And I think it's really important to look within yourself and know what is, you know, what value you have. Because when you Identify and celebrate your strengths, no matter what situation you're faced with, whatever challenge you're faced with. You can pick yourself up and you can keep moving forwards. That's another thing that I always tell people as well. Momentum is super, super important. And that momentum doesn't have to be running all the time. A lot of times I tell people, life is a marathon. Life is not a sprint. So if all I could do today was just get up and put one foot in front of the other, that is good enough. That is good enough. So definitely unshackling yourself from those self-limiting beliefs. And again, as you know, we're talking about women empowerment. Pay attention to the people you're surrounding yourself with, right? You're gonna hear a lot of voices there. So I choose to surround myself with people who are positive, who are uplifting. I want to filter that in, and I want to filter out those voices that are bringing me down. Because hey, guys, you're going to have those kind of people in your life, right? So the third thing that I believe in, and you know, I'm really guilty of not doing this, although I preach about it all the time, is being truly compassionate to yourself, guys. As women, we're compassionate to everybody, but we've got to practice self-compassion and self-love, because we fulfill so many roles, right? We're daughters, we're mothers, we're sisters, right? But we are us too, right? So we got to love ourselves. That's super, super important. And that brings me to one of my favorite topics to talk about as well, which is self-care. Paying attention to your physical, emotional, and your spiritual needs. So physically, making sure you're eating well, you're sleeping well, you're getting enough of exercise, you're engaging in activities that bring you joy. When we talk about emotional self-care, what I would like to talk about, and I think Jonai talked about it as well, I'm referring a lot back to her speech, but gratitude. What I really believe in is practicing an attitude of gratitude. So no matter what happens day to day, you always feel content and you're always appreciative of what you have. Another practice of mine is affirmations. As I talked about before with those self-limiting beliefs, it's really, really important to continue to know that you're valued, that you matter. One of my favorite affirmations is I can and I will, right? So, you know, basically practicing spiritual self-care, meditation, journaling, whatever it is that, you know, gives you that peace of mind. So if you're authentic, if you're able to, you know, free yourself from the self-limiting beliefs, if you're able to practice self-compassion and self-love and self-care, I'm sure that is the way that you can empower yourself. And as women, we need to be lifting each other up so that we can build better communities. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope that there was something that you could take out of this talk today. Thank you.
Thank you for giving your time for this event, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your mantra with us. Find your passion and fulfill your purpose. And making us realize that most importantly, we need to be compassionate towards ourselves. Thank you for filling us with positivity, ma'am. Moving further with the event, our next speaker is Daniela Sephora Goeman. She is a clinical associate and associate lecturer at the University of the Witwatersrand. She has recently started developing a career as a researcher in the field of addiction care. She is really passionate about advocating for accessible quality health for vulnerable members of our society. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
I'm going to share my screen because I only have 10 minutes and I'd like my screen to be the focus. I'm just going to, can everyone see my screen? I hope my screen is visible. Okay. So my introduction is pretty much accurate. And I thought to use these 10 minutes to share about the woman whose shoulders I stand on. When I prepared for this, I tried for the first, 50 women that could come to mind, but there's hundreds of women. And unfortunately, this word cloud couldn't put all of them. And if I think from when I started, the picture that you see now, that day I drowned, and it was my sister who saved me, I wouldn't be the young girl that managed to navigate my way through school and navigate my way through the academic world and become a faculty member in health sciences at the University of the Witwatersrand. These women who you'll be seeing their pictures through these slides have fed me, taught me how to feed myself. They've wiped my tears, they've changed my diapers, they've cleaned my wounds, treated my childhood illnesses, supervised my learning, taught me how to speak English, Sotho, French, Zulu. Some tried to teach me Kenya, Rwanda, and Kiswahili, and I really do apologize to them, but I'll try all over again to start learning. They showed me how to care for myself. They showed me how to care for others. Some taught me how to paint, to draw, to read music, to play the recorder. They tried to teach me how to sing, but I can't hold a tune to save my life. They taught me about motherhood, sisterhood. They taught me even how to pray, especially when they left me at a time when I needed them. In that, they taught me how to cope with death, but they also taught me that there's life beyond this world. They taught me how to read, love reading, how to take care of books, cherish people's stories. They taught me how to swim, play hockey, tennis, netball. They exposed me to foreign films, the love of Bollywood, classics like Triple KG, Bachman, Jodo Akbar. They shared with me music like indie rock and jazz and soul and R&B and drum and bass. The importance of community development, especially for rural communities. They influenced my politics through debates. They taught me the beauty of living in community. They taught me about holding things in your heart. They taught me about the spirit of volunteerism. They taught me about the love of work. They inspired my personal style. They encouraged my social justice causes. My understanding of the world is influenced by them. They taught me how to be obedient, how to be understanding, how to be outgoing, how to be wise, how to be empathetic, passionate. They even gave me advice on boys. They influenced my career aspirations in policy making,
I think there was a technical issue there. But as Ma'am was saying, I would really like to thank her for all the points that she has mentioned to us, because she has truly opened her eyes, and we have come to accept the fact that all of us, all of the empowered women here have always had a guiding hand, have had people who were always appreciative and open to providing them with opportunities which they might have missed. And so it is it's a new point that has been covered, and I would really like to extend my thanks to ma'am for bringing these points forward. So on to the next speaker. Dr. Shantanu Vanekar is a healthcare accreditation expert with a vast experience of over 2 decades. She is a founder and chief trainer for Q Team, that is Quality Training and Education in Accreditation and Management. She has been nominated amongst top 50 professionals in India and is the recipient of the Quality Leadership Award at the World Quality Congress. She has also been cited amongst the top 18 women healthcare leaders in India by Medgate. Her organization, Q Team, with over 50 plus trainers, have been bestowed with many training organization awards, and they share strong market repute for being the best at training and consultancy for hospitals and healthcare organizations. We would like to extend our warm welcomes to you, ma'am, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Team YUCI. And I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Rajput sir for allowing all the women over here to speak their thoughts and their processes and whatever they do in their life, share their thoughts on this platform. Today we are here not to talk about what women empowerment is making a woman powerful, but in fact it is about influencing the way the rest of the people or the world look at our strength. I would say in a woman, the WO should not be waiting for an opportunity to be men, but it should be winning opportunities and become better than men. So just like our co-speakers, what Janai and Rebecca said, I have a lot of things to add to it. Definitely, it is about gratitude. It is about the 4 C's, that is the care, concern, compassion, and contact of all our women who are there in and around us that we have to build up. Now, no matter in every country, there are so many issues about women. We don't have to be rebellious to reach the status where we are right now. We have to be more understanding. We have to be concerned. We need to understand the root cause. Since I'm in quality, I always talk about the root cause. So what has been the root cause? It starts from within yourself. Empower yourself. We all are empowered women. If we give an opportunity to 10 women in this world, and these 10 women take it to another 10 women, just imagine, we all will benefit. We all can identify the strength within us. We all can identify the best things that we can do for our, whether it's a mother, whether it's a sister, our friends, our colleagues, our employees, our women. In fact, a very small thing I can give you an example is that yesterday when I was traveling, I always have this, that how can I do something good for a woman who is really working hard, who's striving hard to achieve a status in the world. And I took a cab in a place like Mumbai, which was driven by a woman. This itself makes a woman empowered. You don't have to do big things. You don't have to talk big things in life. Just hold hands. It makes a lot of difference. All of us make mistakes, but a true woman, an understanding woman, will always support another woman and take her to the next level. Women empowerment actually entitles women to change or take charge of their own personal development. The attitude of gratitude, like what Rebecca ma'am said, really matters a lot. Expressing your gratitude not only to your family members, your children, your colleagues, but even all those people who have helped you somewhere in life will make a lot of change in yourself, and it will empower you from within. We also talk about trainings, awareness, increasing the positions via the education facilities that we can provide to them, and giving them the decision-making authorities. I have a young daughter who's 23 years old, and from the age of 18, where she could take her own decisions, I have left her. Why can't we all do it for our kids, for our sisters, or even for the women who are coming in our house in the form of a sister-in-law or even your mother-in-law, anybody? Give them the power, give them the strength, and support them. Support is very essential for each and every woman. It makes them think and work ahead. The only reason why women were suppressed was they thought that physical strength or fitness matters more for each and every job or any opportunity in this world. But it has been proven that it's not the physical strength, but the mental strength. And women have always been stronger in this. Women empowerment, actually, it entitles, as I told you, for all the women to take charge. And once you take charge of all these things, you can win the world. You can win from within yourself, your own conscious, your self-respect, and you can move ahead. Regarding literacy, we all can take an opportunity to hold hands and strengthen each and every woman who comes across in our life. While traveling, while being in a meeting, in an office setup, I was working in hospitals, and I always used to support the nursing staff. You would not believe that in India, 73% of the teachers are all women. Doesn't that make a lot of difference? That means to build up a nation, to build up the youth of this country, you need women. That means women are more intelligent. That means women can actually teach you empathy. Women can always take care of each and every man in this life. So let's not have the differentiation of gender. Empowerment should not be about giving power. It should be about identifying your power and taking it ahead to build up the nation, to have the youth of the nation who can progress well. Of course, as we all know, that India is a progressive and one of the world's fastest growing economy in the near future. It must also focus on women empowerment, what we talk about. But this process actually will give a hope to get gender equality and a balanced economy. Again, I cite an example, is that around 43% of the jobs are all women. Though in the last 2 years, it has gone down by 2%. Still, I think so. I would say it's a 50-50. That means we are equally good even in being competent doctors. So why not take this advantage of all the situation? We have all been given an opportunity. And I'm not talking only about India, but all over the world. There are countries wherein women are struggling for the rights. We need to identify, we need to help them in whatever way we can, whatever way we can support them. There's no limit to what we can do as women. We can accomplish anything that we take a decision for. And as rightly what Michelle Obama has said, to all the little girls who are watching this, never doubt that you are valuable and powerful and deserving of every chance and opportunity in this world to pursue and to achieve your own dreams. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for giving your time for this event, ma'am. Thank you for making us realize that rebel is not the answer always, but understanding the issue here is how we can expand the idea of empowerment. Now, moving further with the event, I heartily welcome our next speaker, Candace Joseph. She is the CEO of the Joseph Consulting Firm, LLC. She coaches entrepreneurs from start to growth. She creates marketing strategies, growth plans, and streamlined systems to strengthen a company's position upon launch. She also hosts a weekly radio, the Business Knowledge Broker Hour, with Candace Joseph on high volume music radio, gearing to the highlight the vast hidden jewels of entrepreneurs and non-profit organizations all around the globe. Candace holds an accounting degree from Prairie View A&M University. In her spare time, she enjoys listening to opera, playing chess, and volunteering with local organizations on their marketing campaigns. Candace is a seeker of knowledge and believes in sharing it to all. She seeks to daily motivate, encourage, and empower all to be the greatest versions of themselves. She's on a quest to create visibility success for all. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope that you guys can hear me and see me correctly. So I want to say good morning. My name is Candace Joseph. I have to say it is bright and early here in Houston, Texas, and I'm very honored, first and foremost, to be amongst great women who empower, who have enlightened me, who have given me knowledge and some sense of peace. That every day that I move forward in a world that I'm doing something correct and just and right, and definitely with a lot of self-love. Today I want to first and foremost say thank you. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you to the speakers, and definitely thank you to the Youth Council. You guys are amazing. The talks that I have heard over the last 2 days have been something that's been, daily reminders for me, but then also a little bit more of inspiration to do. During the whole Women Empowerment Summit, we have heard about empowerment. We've heard about encouragement. We've heard about, fighting for those rights. We heard about standing on the footsteps of our ancestors in order to be great and in order to move forward. I want to tell you guys a little story about me. I was someone who was lost for so long. I was lost in a world of despair, lost in a world of worldly things, things that I shouldn't have been always into, but I did those things. I didn't know who I was as a person. I didn't know that I was smart. I didn't know that I was beautiful, and I didn't know that I was loved. One thing that I've learned over the years, in order to get me to my greatness and to get me to that breakthrough, I had to learn how to forgive myself for every failure and every success. People said, okay, failures we get, right? So failures are the things that went wrong in your life. Maybe it was a bad relationship. Maybe it was that, not so great day at work where you and a coworker didn't get along. Maybe it was not going to capture your dreams at the moments that you thought you should have. Then we have to forgive ourselves for the successes, the awards, the accolades, the great pat on the back. People tell you they appreciate you. People tell you that you did a good job. Reason being is because we're always looking for the next best thing. How can I be greater than the last thing I did? I've learned over the years, in order to get past that and to get to the breakthrough, I had to learn that everything that I do, the universe creates it for me to do, good or bad. So why not break hold of those things that oppress us? Why not, put down that victimhood coat? A lot of times we forget to empower ourselves. We're out here amongst the world, telling people, find your purpose, find your greatness, find your inspiration, do those daily affirmations. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt lost? Like you didn't recognize who you were, you didn't know what space you belonged in. That was me for so long. One day I dug deep and I sat back and I did the work on who Candace was as a person. And these are the things that I found out. Candace likes to have cool hair. So, hey, I got cool hair. Candace loves opera, so she listens to it at high volume at all times. You know, Candace likes to be a little quirky. Funny glasses, pearls. These are the things that make me smile and make me unique. A lot of times we forget about finding those unique pieces within ourselves to bring out the greatness. You know, and you always have to sit back and look at what you bring to someone's life. So the moment that I had my breakthrough, I decided from that forward on for the rest of my life that I was going to create impact on a daily basis. You wake up in the morning, you wash your face, you look at yourself in the mirror. And for me, I say, what can I do today to create impact? Am I going to create impact within my home? Am I going to create impact within my community? Am I going to think about global impact? Sometimes people don't know. Simply saying hi and smiling at someone, you created an impact in that moment, in that exchange, that interaction with that one person for that really small second. So for me, I think about the community impact that I have. It started within me. My words today really is to encourage you. Because look, everybody on here has gave you tips. They told you about making sure that you're beautiful when you walk out the door. They have told you to be smart. You know, do not go fall into imposter syndrome. I was there for 10 years. I know what it's like. It's not a fun thing. You know, you have heard tips on people tell you today and yesterday. Go out here, fight for your rights, run for office, tap into your greater self every day. For me, I like to use the word impact. What impact can I make? So for me, I started within my community, making impact, giving those goals, helping someone else, helping people within my own community to become great entrepreneurs. I mentor youth. I go out here, I make sure that people know that you are worthy of all of the things that you hope and dream for. This starts within you. You are the change agent. Think about it. If everybody decided today to be change agents, think about the greatness that the world would capture. Think about everybody living on purpose, living within love, living within strength, living within knowledge, and definitely within peace. So today, I just want to encourage all of the women here. Be your best self. Pull someone up with you. Walk beside the greats that you want. Make yourself great and be great to others. Remember, your daily impact can really start a catalyst of global impact. So my encouragement to you is be you, love you, show strength, become the expert in anything that you want to be. Mentor the youth, you know, run for office, run to make changes of laws in your countries. Be change agent that you want to be. And for me, I deal with perfect glasses and pearls. I want to know about how you create impact. You know, even after the summit, I would love for all of us to keep in contact so we can see about how we can daily empower each other, daily motivate each other, daily encourage. How can we give each other those daily affirmations? I don't know about you, but I don't want this to be a one-time exchange. I want to learn about all of your programs. I want to learn about you. And I want to encourage everybody today, whatever you do, with strength, love, knowledge, live your life the way it's supposed to be lived. And remember, be confident in everything you do because you're oh so worth it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Impact daily. It's our jobs. It's our responsibility. Don't fail you. Don't fail the youth. And definitely don't fail the globe. That's something I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Candace. It was wonderful listening to you, the way you encourage every individual and the way you talked about the insecurities while we grow up as a young people. And that's what every people go through every day, like every single day, as you said, when you look at yourself, like you don't know who you are, and someday you will figure it out. Someday you'll definitely figure it out. Just give it some time. And thank you so much. It was so nice listening to you. Thank you so much. So guys, let's welcome our next speaker, Master Mule. And she is in the business of transforming and empowering, raising consciousness of people. She was born and raised in Sweden. She has over 20 years mining industry experience. She has participated in a lot of development programs, and they are part of shaping the person she is now. And Master has a strong conviction that coaching in her life is a purpose. Like, she thinks it's the purpose of her life. That's wonderful. And she wants to add value and make difference in the world by leading people in an inspirational way. She believes in empowering individuals to shift how they think in order to show up more intentionally and achieve the desired results. She has experience in coaching, and she's a practitioner. She's currently doing a lot of coaching things. She's a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. She's a negative emotional therapy practitioner and member of international coaches and member of coaches and mentors of South Africa. So now I welcome Master Mule. I hand it over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for this platform. I'm so excited to be here. As my introduction has been mentioned, I am transformation coach Mashudu Mbele. I'm also a negative emotional therapy practitioner. And today what I felt like I need to talk about is strategy and self-awareness. And it's quite key. When one thinks of a company, I'm not sure how many of you who are here who are running companies or who are those who want to open their own companies in future. And before one opens a company, you need to look at your strategy, you need to look at your vision, you need to look at your mission and your tactics. And at times we fall short on looking for that into ourselves. The question is, in terms of your life, before you even open that company, or maybe you're just someone who's working, it also applies to someone who's working or to any area of your life. In terms of your strategy, do you have a strategy for your life? Have you ever asked yourself, do I have a strategy for my life? Do I have a vision for my life, or do I have a mission? And how will I manage this life when it comes up with all the challenges, and how am I going to grow? So my talk is about linking strategy and self-awareness and bringing it back to you guys to look at your life holistically, like a company, like your life is like a career as well. Because if you don't have a vision or a strategy or a mission for yourself, you're going to let things take over. With a company, one has to have that strategy. You need to tell yourself where you're going, where are you heading, long-term and short-term. And with that, you can develop a goal plan. And if you are unable to do that, you can find a coach to assist you to take you on that path. So you'll have that strategy. And within that strategy, you need to define what is your mission, what is it about you that you want to add. When people think about your name, let's say they think about Jane, what is it that people, when they think about you? And then you also look at your values. Because normally when someone is running a company or they are joining a company, say employees, most of the time, if they have values of the company and they don't meet each other, there's going to be so much conflict. So yourself, what are your values? And we've got what we call conscious and subconscious values. And conscious, when you do the exercise, most of the time you realize those two are matched. You might write down and say, these are my values, or that I live by. And when you start doing the exercise for subconscious, you realize they are far apart. And myself as a coach, I assist with that to make sure that you're aligned. So you look at your values. Are you living your values? And if they are contradicting, you really need to do something. And in terms of your life, are your values based on what your soul is saying? And then from there, you'll also look at the tactics of how you're going to run this company. What from your strategy that you will have said, I've got a 5 to 10 year plan. In this 10-year plan, what are you going to do? Or 20-year plan? What skills are you going to try to learn? Because as you go, because as human beings, we need to be growing, because if you're not learning something daily, you're dying. So in this plan that you have, could be 10 to 20 years, what are the skills that you need to develop throughout? So you'll have strategies in terms of that and have things in place. And through your roadmap, that is that project plan that you have, you'll be able to say these are the skills that you want to have. And you also do what we call your risk assessment in terms of those strategies. And with your company, you also do what we call a SWOT analysis, which is your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities. And yes, and then from there, you'll be able to see what are the things that you need to work on, what are your blind spots. And this you can't do alone. It's quite important that you do it with other people. That's why I was including self-awareness. And you can do that when you do a 360 degree of yourself. And you cannot, that's the 360 degree. You can do it using the people that are surrounding you. Because as human beings, we are meant to connect. We are not an island. And you're able to realize all these things when you ask for help, when other people are telling you. So throughout this plan, what will you be doing so that you can improve? And what are the things that you'll be using so that you can improve as well? And one of the things that you can do in terms of self-awareness is to look at your life on a daily basis. When you wake up in the morning, listen to the thoughts, be aware of the thoughts that you're thinking daily. Are those thoughts helping you to achieve that mission, that vision that you have set in for your life? The way you live your life, is it according to your values? Is it congruent with what you're doing? So you could ask few questions on a daily basis. Let's ask yourself, who am I in this world? And then the other one is, each time you're thinking, what am I thinking about? And another thing to be aware is, when you're by yourself, what are you feeling when you're thinking about that? And in life, what do you want? What do you desire in life? And this comes back to your goals and having your end vision and your strategy. And you also look at your life and you ask yourself, why am I getting in the way? What is getting in the way? And what do you need to do differently? Those are the things that you really need to look at all the time. And in terms of self-awareness, again, in strategies, to have that strategy as well in the morning of how you master your day, how you master your life. Because we are outdated with technology, with computing our time. Time is a commodity at the moment. And each time when you wake up in the morning, it's an opportunity to say you need to make a difference. And God says, you are here, you have this breath, use it. So are you using your breath, your life to add purpose? And whilst you're doing that strategy, there's opportunity to find out what is your purpose. Because most people, most times they're not living your purpose. Ask yourself, do you know your purpose? If you don't, find out what is your purpose. Find out what is that thing when you wake up. Even if you just slept for an hour, you'll be able to wake up and do it without worry and with excitement, that thing that brings you joy. And when you do that, you'll be so amazed of how fulfilling life is. And you'll be so amazed what value you're adding. And you might be saying, I'm working now and I'm not ready. I don't know how to live my purpose. My purpose means I need to leave work. Look in that opportunity where you are in terms of your work, because wherever you are, it's not by chance. There's something that you need to learn deep so that you can apply it wherever you are. So you might be in a bad situation. The question is, what is that situation showing you? Because with every trials and tribulations that we're going through, there's a diamond within that message, and will always continue going through. So be aware of your thoughts, be aware of how you spend your time, be aware of what you're doing, and also be aware of how you're developing yourself. And be aware, like as I said, with technology, of what is happening. And if you listen into your gut, into your instinct, you'll be able to have answers to most of the questions that I've asked as well. That is when you learn to be mindful and be still and be in the moment. And that is something I'll urge you to do if you're not doing. Have a morning routine of how you manage yourself, how you strategize yourself. Yeah, so that was my share. So basically, look at the strategy of your life, where you want to be and how are you going to do that? What help do you need? What assistance you need to do? What are the things you need to start doing, stop doing, and continue in your life? And you are the one who's got answers to all those questions. But you need to start reflecting. And when you don't know what to do, just start writing. Another way of trying to understand the busyness within your mind is to journal. I heard other speakers earlier, they spoke about journaling your identity. So tie up what has been said throughout with other discussions and what the message that I've said, and also put those things together. So look at yourself and where you want to be and how you ground yourself. So thank you so much. That is what I wanted to share.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful listening to you. The way you talked about setting a goal and having a plan towards it. Everything was wonderful. It's been a great inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today. And now I will invite our next speaker. She is Jamie Arias, and she is a John Maxwell certified coach. People know her as Coach Jamie. And she coaches creators and visionaries to maximize their business and team operations. And she also hosts a radio podcast, Gwinnett Business Radiox. And she, as a certified business coach and leadership coach, teacher, and speaker, she offers you workshops, seminars, keynotes, keynote speaking, personal and group coaching, aiding your personal and professional growth through study and practical applications. She leads you to what you need. So I welcome our next speaker, Jamie. Hand it away to you. Welcome.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. And I am always thankful. I think that's one of the things that we have to do to be empowered. And this is about empowerment, right? So the question is, what is empowerment? What really empowerment means, and how can we make it work in our lives? And empowerment, by looking at it, the process of becoming a stronger and more confident, especially in controlling your life and claiming your rights. So we're talking about women empowerment, and everything that we heard is amazing. I think every speaker, they have brought so much value in content to every one of us. But the question is, bringing it into the real world and bringing it into the real life, what we deal with every day. I wanted to bring you practical solutions, because that's what Coach Jamie is about. I'm also part of the John Maxwell team, so that's something that has catapulted me to other places to take the next right step in my life. And the great thing is that he's helping me to lead others to take the next right step. So how can you avoid to not be empowered? What are the things that maybe we do that are taking the power from ourselves, that are taking the strength out of us. And I wanted to bring a different perspective. Sometimes our brains work different. So I said, okay, how about just bring into perspective the things that we should be avoiding, the things that we should be kind of like running away so we don't lose our power. Women is not about to try to be more than men. It's not trying to step over men. It's not trying to be better than them. Right? I see Dr. P. He's over there, and it's like it's not about that. It's about taking ownership of the strengths that we have been given by God. So as women, as men, each of us, we have strengths, we have abilities, we have skills, and we're not here to try to fight for power or try to be better than who, but we're here to bring our strengths and make our world better. That's what we're here for, so that we can give value. So I am part of a podcast, and the name of this podcast is Girl Change Your Clothes. And this is a godly podcast. It is made by 3 Christian hosts, and we all come with our ideas. We all come with our lives, our stories, everything that we have dealt with in life, and we bring it to empower women with it. So all of us, we have a different story. And my question for you is, what is your story? Maybe a lot of us, we have gone through different things in life, struggles. We have a difficult childhood. Maybe our parents were not there. Many women probably they were mistreated. They deal with domestic violence. They deal with war and different things in their countries. We all come from different cultures. I am Colombian, I'm Latina. So my culture brings different things into my life to what it brings to many people in India and people that was born in US. I'm in the US, but I have a different perspective of different things. And I have a past, and my past probably was not easy. But the question for you is, are you going to make your mess your message? Are you going to change your clothes today? Your past doesn't define your future. So whatever you deal with in the past, my question to you is, are you going to make that mess that you deal with your message? How are you going to use your story to bring empowerment into other people's life? So it's not trying to be better than anybody. It's trying to make somebody else better than themselves. Being part of something bigger than yourself. Being able to empower other people around you, no matter who they are, so that we can make our world a better world. So one of the things that we do in Girl Change Your Clothes is take our story. How we can take our story and we can make it into, why me? Why did I go through suffering? Why did I go through mistreatment, domestic violence? Why did I have to deal with this illness in life? So why, instead of doing that, we use it as what for? Who is going to come into your life that down the road, they're gonna need the things that you did through that experience. So it's what for? What is your why? What is your purpose? That story that you dealt with in the past, somebody needs it today. So one of the things that you are not going to lose power is raising your voice, raising your message, making your mess your message, using that story to help somebody down the road. And I'm going to tell you a story. There was a girl that was put in my life years ago, and I was the youth leader back at that time, and she was dealing with a lot of domestic violence in her house. She was going through the struggles. She didn't have a life. She was always taken away from freedom, from different things that she was dealing with in her house. And this girl had the passion and the desire just to be better, but her circumstances were hard to deal with. But what she did is, I cannot control what's going on around me. She couldn't do it, but she was able to control herself. And she kept trying hard and she kept trying hard. And I was blessed to be able to empower this girl. When she was ready to quit high school, she said, I cannot do it anymore, Jamie. I cannot do it. I have to go to work. I have to find a way how to get out of my house because I cannot take it anymore. And I told her, you are not giving up on yourself. You are not giving up on your skills and abilities because you have a purpose. You're not giving up on the purpose that God has put in your heart. And I went to the store and I bought her books, pencils. I got her different things, pretty things for school and things that were going to help her just to keep on going and give her encouragement. And maybe this wasn't something big, but it was what I had in the moment. It was the resources I had in the moment. And I gave it to her. And you have no idea, this small token of appreciation that I gave her changed her life forever. Because for this, it meant, for her, this meant I can do it. I can continue. I can take the tools. I can use this to finish up high school. And she did. And she graduated. And I was there in her graduation. I saw when she got her diploma. I saw she got married. She got 2 beautiful kids. She's now working as a dental assistant and she's looking forward into writing her own book. She has a message. Now she's empowering other girls. But she decided to change her clothes. She had clothes of depression. She had clothes of anxiety. She had clothes of sadness and desperation. But she decided to take those clothes off and put clothes of empowerment, happiness, positive thinking. She put a wardrobe of faith around her, and she was able to go and take on and just conquer her world because she decided to change her clothes. So my question for you today, women out there, is not a competition. We're not trying to be better than anybody. We're trying to be a better version of ourselves. Whoever I was yesterday, I need to be better today. And you don't know whose lives you're touching. You're making an impact because there's people watching you. And a lot of you might think, I'm not a leader. I'm not in a high position. I'm not a manager. I'm not an owner, a business owner. You are a leader. If somebody is following your footsteps, if your kids are following what you do, your neighbor, your friends, your family members, if somebody is following your footsteps and your influence, you are a leader. For so you have a big responsibility to lead yourself. So I hope that today I'm leaving a word of encouragement, thinking and remembering that there's power in your words, that there's power in what you speak. So when you don't watch what you speak, you lose power. That's the other thing. The Bible actually says that you don't have to pay with evil. You have to pay with blessings. You can change your world by the words that come out of your mouth. So do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessings, because to these you were called so that you might inherit a blessing. What are you doing with your words? Are you using your words to destroy, or are you using your words to lift up people? Anybody that is around you can be lifted up by a word of blessing, of empowerment, but a word of affirmation that you put and say into their life. So go on and be empowered by speaking good, by speaking blessings, by helping somebody. And go on and be empowered by taking your story, whatever your story was, take the story and make your mess your message, because there's somebody out there that needs you, and you have to take the leadership on your life so you can help others get to the top. That is my tip for today. I hope that I was able to give you some word of encouragement. Always be intentional, always be living in the moment. Enjoy the best moments in life with your family, with whoever you are around. Be intentional. okay? Because this is gonna help you to take your next right step. Bye, everybody. Have a blessed day. And it was great to be here.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring us with your speech. Myself, Sushma, member of YUCI. Here, we are at the end of the event. Women empowerment, a powerful topic taken by our council trying to build a bridge, is truly a great initiative. Me and my fellow members are extremely happy to be part of this. That reminds me to thank our advisors, national heads, and every member who worked towards the success of this event. Cheers to you. Without you, all this wouldn't have been possible. And most importantly, our speakers who made time for us to be part of this event. I once again thank everyone. And last but not the least, thanking the Almighty for making everything possible. Thank you.